your education came from, but they lied to you.
Stats don't lie, though. How does that feel, by the way?
At this time, officials have confirmed only 3 approved survival protocols. Like, comment, subscribe. An extinction level event is now imminent. Attention. This is an emergency broadcast. If you can hear this, run! Run for your lives! The world has chosen. The nuclear reaction. This is the nuclear reaction.
Sir, with all due respect, bro, I promise you would not be smacking anybody in real life. Listen, sir. Anywhere, any place, I would say the same thing I said to you up here. You're an idiot, you're dumb, and you're un-American, you're uneducated, and your IQ is around 50. You're mad at me because I'm smarter than you. You're mad at me because I'm better than you in every single way. You're mad at me because I'm more eloquent than you. That's why you're mad at me. Just admit it. That's why you're really mad at me. All right. Welcome in, everyone, whether you're watching on YouTube, X, TikTok, to another episode of the Nuclear Reaction. We have, a story to go over and also a lot of interesting, contentious debates about the core issues that affect Americans, and obviously what everyone likes to talk about. So we're going to obviously be talking about the Iran war, going over DEI, leftism, and just general DSA, Mamdani sort of, stuff. So Middle Eastern politics as usual, and just general domestic policy. And we're going to talk about how the Democrats are truly eroding this country. Not even just the establishment Democrats, DSA people like Mamdani. I don't know if you guys have heard the story about his government-owned grocery stores. I've been trying to get an update on that from like DSA people and stuff like that, because I was just in New York City. Like, hey, where are these grocery stores? I'm in New York City. I'll go to one right now. But he recently announced, I think like 2 days after I left New York City, that they are going to be opening their first one in 2027. And they are going to be like all of the produce, basically, right? Like the basic necessities are going to be 30% below retail price. Okay, so that's the announcement. But the first one comes in 2027. They're going to allocate about $70 million towards that sort of program. So I can't wait to see it. Honestly, I would like to go to New York City just so I could experience the government-owned grocery stores that I've been calling on. Like, where are they at? I want to see it, And even, like, this is the thing. It's, if he doesn't deliver on his promises, we're all going to say, okay, well, you promised this, you didn't deliver on it. That's one, right? But even if he does, the policies themselves are economically horrible. So even if he does deliver on the 5 government-owned grocery stores, they're going to fail. Delivering on a bad policy is not good for the public or your constituents, okay? It's like me delivering on increasing inflation for everyone. I could deliver on doing that if I said I was going to do that, but no one actually wants me to complete that sort of objective, right? So it's that sort of thing. But welcome in everyone watching over on TikTok, YouTube, and X. Looking at a lot of people joining up on the TikTok chat. We have our first guest. His name is Nine. We have also a guy named Var. Eton says, also any more Jubilee or big debates anytime soon. So, no, I have not filmed anything with Jubilee that is going to come out soon. But I did film with the organization Think Again in New York City a few days ago, actually last Friday. And so we were more talking about the DSA and sort of leftist politics there. James Sunbello says, how is an aggression way just? I don't know how let's kind of phrase that in a weird way. How is an aggressive way just? You're saying being aggressive is never just? Like, what's the argument there? That sounds pretty simplistic. Are you Jewish? I like how I'm like, yeah, the Iran war is just. And the question that comes after is like, are you Jewish, though? No, I'm not Jewish. I mean, do I look Jewish? I don't have a yarmulke on my head. I'm not Jewish. Although you don't have to have a yarmulke on your head to be Jewish, but it's like, no, I'm not Jewish. Did you see Maddie versus Cora? I did not see that. Iran war is just, of course. It's not defensive. Well, it depends on what you define as defensive. You do realize like the whole point of the show is that you can come up and debate me on this particular topic, right? So, let me go ahead and send you an invite up here. Let me up. I can invite you up, actually. Let me give you an invitation. What's going on, man?
Not much. I'm just curious why you think it's just.
Yeah, I think the IRGC has been a threat to America and the West and the Middle East and our ideology since their inception in 1979. You have a lot of background noise, by the way. I don't know if you can get that sorted out. But I believe they've been a threat since their inception. They've obviously been killing American troops, funding 3 different proxy groups in the Middle East that have been causing wars and turmoil and economic damage. And they have obviously admitted to trying to build nuclear weapons and have had the largest missile stockpile in the Middle East. I don't want the #1 state sponsor of terrorism to continue getting stronger and more powerful. I muted you there for a second because you have a lot of background noise, dude. I don't want everyone to just sort of hear that. If you can get that sorted out, that'd be great. Let me invite you to unmute yourself.
Is there still a lot of background noise?
No, you're better now. You're better now.
Okay. See, I don't really agree. First of all, they had a fatwa on nuclear weapons, right? They had an 86-year-old religious leader who was completely against nuclear weapons, said they were un-Islamic. Sorry. So they weren't going to make one a month before the 12-day war. We have inspections. Our government was saying that there is no evidence that they're going to make a nuclear weapon. So we bombed them, attacked them, and then publicly for months started saying that we want regime change. And so yes, now
true.
of course they're going to make. Yes, it is.
No, it isn't. Let's start on the first thing about the fatwa. Do you know what a fatwa actually is?
The general idea. I don't know the actual.
Yeah, it's a non-legally binding like religious decree, right? So he said that in 2003, sure, but the IAEA
said that more than just 2003.
Okay, the IAEA, yeah, he generally just made a statement that like heavily destructive weapons are obviously just against Islamic principles, right? But that didn't change the fact that a 2015 IAEA report said that between 2003 and 2009, Iran had a legitimate nuclear weapons program to build nuclear weapons. Again, not America, not neocons.
No, it wasn't.
The IAEA said this, and they were doing explosive testing, right, which is already something. They were enriching uranium, and they also had IR6 centrifuges, which someone can please, a nuclear engineer would like. I would love for one to explain to me why they were using IR6 centrifuges, right? And so the IAEA said that they had a legitimate nuclear weapons program back then.
Wait, so in 2015?
No, a report that was released in 2015 by the IAEA.
Yeah, so
said
why
that
did we wait 10 years?
between the years, right? Well, I mean, we're under different presidents and we're also dealing with different threats. So that's another thing, though. But between the years of that so-called fatwa, between the year that the fatwa supposedly took place, or when he issued it, 6 years even after that, there was still a legitimate nuclear weapons program according to the IAEA. So that whole fatwa thing was just straight up BS.
It wasn't a nuclear weapons program. They could have a civilian nuclear.
No, it was
program.
a legitimate. No, civilian nuclear programs like having no. Nuclear reactors are not nuclear. Dude, hold on. You're messing up the terminology. Nuclear weapon programs, of course, is not the same thing as having nuclear reactors or nuclear energy. The IAEA said nuclear weapons programs, not having nuclear reactors. The IAEA knows what they're talking about. They're not like random people on TikTok or anything, you know?
Oh, okay. So, can I talk?
Go ahead.
Yeah, but they never built a nuclear weapon. They were enriching up to, I believe it was 40% is what the JCPOA, that's what the deal was, correct?
No, the JCPOA limited them to 3.67% enrichment, not 40%. And by the way, a day before the 12-day war... It was a bit higher.
Okay.
No, I know what the number was. And by the way, a day before the 12-day war ensued... I'm trying to help you with more information here. I mean, okay.
No, you're not letting me finish my points.
I was just trying to correct you because you're saying false things, like 40%.
Okay, so sorry, it was 3%. Is it or is it not true that once Trump left the JCPOA, they were able to enrich up to 60% with an inspections regime?
I don't know what you mean by an inspections regime. They were already kicking out inspectors even afterwards. But yes, they obviously increased.
So there weren't inspectors coming to Iran and looking at
Were they not inspectors? No? Yeah, there were inspectors that were being denied. No, the actual the inspector said that they were being denied access to certain areas, actually. They continuously and repeatedly said that. For example, Pickaxe Mountain in certain areas where they were told that they weren't allowed to go to. And that was even under the JCPOA. I wonder what they were hiding, right?
Okay. Sure. Do you really think that the chance that Iran is going to get a nuclear weapon has gone up or down since the 12-day war?
Down, for sure. Because now they know that
we are willing to
militaristically... Down 100%, because now they know that we are willing and have been militaristically engaging with the IRGC. We have been attacking and destroying their missile capabilities, their Shahed drone production sites, right? We have been targeting IRGC officials, including top nuclear scientists, alongside Israel, and we've been directly hitting nuclear facilities like Natanz, Fordow, and Isfahan. So it's no longer just talking and making these deals that are really not even deals. They're just horrible sort of agreements. We are actually willing to objectively engage. It's not like Harris or Biden saying, Iran, stop it, Iran, stop. No, it's actually bombing shit, right? So there's a difference.
Sure. So do you think that we're actually winning this war?
I mean, in what metric are you going to define winning? I think militaristically speaking, of course we're winning because they have taken more damage than we have, and we have degraded their capabilities and depleted their naval capabilities, or their air force, and their missile sites, obviously their nuclear sites. I mean, in every single way, we've won, and we've also taken less casualties than they have.
Okay, can I talk?
Yeah, I'm not stopping you.
You keep asking questions and then keep rambling.
Okay, go on.
No, there's no way it's going down. Before, we did have some sort of, what's the word? Rapport with them. We would talk to Iran. Now, in the past year, we've been negotiating with them twice, correct? Right before the 12-day war. And then we proceeded to use the negotiations to just bomb them. And then afterwards, we keep, negotiating with them, did the same thing. We go and bomb them. So how are they supposed to think now? Yeah, you're right. We should just stop trying to make a nuclear weapon, which if they get a nuclear weapon, that's their only actual deterrent for war. We're not going to attack them if they have a nuke. So why should they just sit and lay down? And also, no, we're not winning. You can look at we've taken their Navy, Air Force, some of that other stuff. But short of a ground invasion, we're not actually going to change anything. I mean, if you looked at the MOU, all of the most finalized deals that we got with them were they get the straight and we're going to give them $300 billion.
Yeah, that's not even what the deal says.
How is that us winning?
Right, when I disagree with the MOU, I think the MOU is absolutely horrible. That's why I asked you, by the way, earlier, are you talking about militaristically speaking? What are you talking about when you're talking about winning? Militaristically speaking, hold on, don't interrupt me. Right, that's why I asked you that earlier, and you didn't want to answer the question directly. Militaristically speaking, of course we're winning. That's not even a conversation. That's not even up for debate. Of course, militaristically we're winning. Right, the MOU did include that $300 billion nonsense, which, by the way, it's not that it wasn't money that the federal government was going to give. It was going to be basically the Gulf countries investing into Iran and so on. But again, I disagree with the MOU. I think Vance proposing it was absolutely an awful idea, and I'm glad that we've gotten away from the MOU. Now, you also mentioned. Interruption again. I got to get to your point the points that you made. You made multiple different false points. I let you finish, and now I'm responding to your multiple different false points. Thank you.
Okay,
another false point that you made is that we just bomb them every single time we try to say that we're going to do negotiations with them. That's not true at all.
So we did not bomb them multiple times in the middle of negotiations.
By the way, just so we know, he's totally okay with interruptions. He's totally okay with it. He was just pretending that he didn't like them. I'm totally now we know that. So before the 12-day war started, right in June of 2025. There was a letter sent to the Ayatollah telling him, hey, you have 60 days to reach some sort of a deal before things get really bad. Okay? On day 60, by the way, of that letter being sent to the Ayatollah, that is when Israel actually struck Iran, and then we came in after as well. So they were given a warning that you have 60 days to sign a deal before things happen. They knew it was going to happen. They knew exactly what was going to happen to them if they didn't sign that deal. And I guess they thought they were that they were dealing with Harris or Biden, which they obviously weren't.
You done?
Did I not stop speaking? That's how you typically know when someone was done. That's how I knew you were done, right?
I'm trying to make sure so you had more to say. I was going to let you.
I mean, you were interrupting me, but okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Let's summarize this so I can move on to someone else.
Never mind, dude.
Okay, thank you. That guy was such a crybaby. It's like the guy kept interrupting me, and he was like, and then when I stopped speaking, he was like, are you done? Yeah, that means I'm done, dude. Like, I don't know. Don't be a whiner. Don't be a crybaby, okay? This guy said I studied at Harvard. Okay, yeah, sure. Yeah. I studied at Harvard. I'm gonna come debate you on DEI, man. Actually, I feel like this person's a troll, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not a troll. Let's see if he's a troll. Let's see. Let's check. Let's see how good I am at predicting these things. Like Mystic Man. I don't know if you guys know
Hey Matt, how are you?
What's up, man? Are you actually a Harvard grad?
No, you nigger.
Oh, see, there you go. I am a beast. Hold on, let me hit this. I am a beast when it comes to finding trolls. Do you see? Like, I'm telepathic with it. I can always sense it. I can sense it. I nailed it. I can sense it. But by the way, if you're going to troll, come up with something more unique. Come on, dude. Saying the N-word, it's like 2026. You have to hit us with something more unique, something more thought after. But see how I predicted it? I'm just too good with it. All right, let's move on to the next person. I think I've seen this person, Spicy Sausage, before. Okay, for the 3 people that are in the guest request, tell me what you specifically want to debate, and I'll bring you up based off of that. Okay? Lol, for real, predicted that? Bro, I'm too good with it. I'm too good with it, man. I'm too good. If Iran war is just, then sign up. Wait, you think that just because someone thinks something is just, that they should always sign up for it? It's like I can be a supporter of, like, doctors and not sign up to be a doctor. I can be a supporter of, like, police officers and not be a police officer. And there's also like an inherent sort of problem with your argument here, because one cannot be a jack of all trades, right? You can't be both like a doctor who studied to be a doctor for like 7, 8, 10 years and also be like an ICE officer, right? So like you're basically saying that if you're a doctor, you can't possibly think that ICE officers are just, because if you did, you sign up for it. That's like a dumb argument. That's a dumb argument. It doesn't even like make any sense. You need to review your history, sir? I need to review my history? Yeah. Interesting. A Harvard education is meaningless unless you're an independent thinker and not subject to indoctrination. This is the thing. Like, they went around, there was like this organization that went around Harvard asking students questions, and the majority of the students there at Harvard were not really that smart. Like, just because you go to an Ivy League university does not mean you're that smart, because Charlie Kirk went to plenty of Ivy League universities and even like high-end universities, and he was destroying these kids. And they were in college. He never went to college. And college is where all the smart people are supposedly at, right? So that's interesting. Okay, let's bring up this person. I feel like this person's also a troll. Let's see how good my predictions are actually, you know? Hello?
Yo. Hello?
What's going on, man?
I was going to debate you on DEI.
You're not actually for DEI, are you?
Well, you would have to be, right?
I would have to be for DEI?
Yes.
Okay, what's the definition of DEI?
Why else would you get hired for
What's the definition of
the
DEI?
Daily Wire?
Why else would I get...
Diversity,
Well, that's not
equity,
actually...
inclusion.
That's not what DEI... Well, that is what the acronym stands for. But you're saying that I got hired... even if that was true, let's say I got hired purely because I'm a black person, right? Which is not even the case. But let's say that was true, right? That's not what DEI actually is. DEI is in reference to corporations and companies hiring black people to meet racial quotas, right? And to try to do this thing where it's like, well, we don't believe that they have the merit to get in just purely based off of their meritocracy. We are going to hire them because they're a person of color, or because we want to increase our sort of people of color demographics within a set company organization, right? Do you think like the Daily Wire would just hire any black guy, like a black guy off the street?
Yeah.
Really? You're that smart? What are the three levels of what are the three levels of government?
So
what are the 3 levels of government?
Judicial, executive, and legislative.
Okay. Those are the 3
Judicial,
branches of
executive, and
government.
legislative.
3 branches, not 3 levels of government.
What are you What
What are
does
the
this
3
have to
levels
do
of
with
government?
DEI?
Hold on, what are the
broski?
3 levels of
What does
government?
this have to do with DEI?
Because I think
What
you're
does
a
this have
DEI
to do with
hire.
DEI? You got hired.
Hold on, bro. Stop
What are you
getting
talking
so
about?
mad. Why are you crashing out? What are the 3 levels of government? I'll help you with the first one. Local. What's next after local?
I thought you said
silent now.
branch. I read branches.
No, I said levels. It seems like you also have
But what does
comprehension
this have to
issues.
do with DEI?
Maybe,
Hey,
oh,
Matt,
brother, you're starting to
Matt
crash
Nuclear,
out.
what
Hold on,
does
don't
this have
crash
to do
out.
with
Hold on,
DEI?
brother, don't crash out. Calm down.
What does
don't
this
freak
have
out.
to do?
Don't have an episode
Hey.
up here. Calm down. Well, I'm trying to prove that you don't have the merits to even come up here and have a conversation. I think you're also a person that obviously benefited from DEI. Because if you have a high school degree, even if you have a high school degree, I wouldn't even believe that.
Dude.
Hold on. Stop crashing out for a second. Let me finish. Don't crash
You're
out.
a nigger.
I'm here for you. You're crashing out. See the crash out? See how he's crashing out? You're frogging out. Where's the frog? You're frogging out. Don't frog out.
What the-
I don't even think... Brother, calm down. Calm down, brother. Don't frog out on me. You're frogging out.
What do this?
Mr. Defender of DEI. Well, I've already answered
What?
your question, but you're frogging out. The answer to your question, you have to stop talking.
What does
by the way.
that matter?
Let me teach you. Listen,
Have
it
never
would appear. Hold on.
What does that matter?
Let me answer you. I'll answer. What
does
does it
that
matter,
matter?
right? So it would appear that you're a Homo erectus. You don't have like the
You said
brain
corporate-
capacity. Just hold
You
on for a
said
second. You have to let me finish. Okay, let me
You
help you out.
said
it would appear that I'm speaking to a Homo erectus. You're obviously one of the earlier hominid species. You don't have the cortical neurons to actually comprehend how conversations work. You ask me a question, and I'm saying I'm going to respond to you. For the third time, you don't want the answer. The reason why that matters is because I don't even think you have a high school degree. And if you do have a high school degree, you got it off of DEI, because no way someone that is as dumb as you, right, can possibly achieve any educational attainment or level purely based off of the merit. So I don't know if you got it based off of disability or something else like that, but it could have possibly been because of the merit. That's kind of the point. Not knowing local and state, federal, like as 3 levels of government is your issue. And you're like, well, I thought I understood 3 branches. No, I said 3 levels. And I said it, by the way, multiple different times, but there's obviously like a comprehension barrier between me and you. It's not my fault that I can comprehend and you can't. You know, it's sort of, you can, I don't know who to blame for that. It's, you know, some people say it's, maybe you're just born with it, man. All right, let's move on to the next one. Please, people, don't crash out, okay? Because we had that guy, he came in, he was a little calmer, but then he ended up crashing out on me. Try not to crash out on me, guys. Really, don't crash out. Because you make yourself look really bad when you start crashing out up here, okay? But I can sort of turn into a therapist if you need any help as well. I'm sorry, I really enjoy this stuff. I really enjoy it. Especially because people get so riled up. What's up, man? Spicy,
hey, Matt.
You've been waiting a while to come up here, huh?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
I can't. Have I had you up here before?
Yeah, I've been up here before. Yeah.
Were you that guy that was like making that apartheid West Bank argument?
Probably.
Okay. Nevertheless, what topic do you want? That's fine. What topic do you want to debate today?
Well, first of all, I just want to say I had a lot of fun watching you on Jubilee. So
okay,
props to that. It's always fun when you show up there. The other side of it was, I wanted to say that guy that was trying to debate you on Iran. I thought it was strange that you were talking about the military dominance and everything else of the United States, and the one thing that kept standing out to me the whole time was about how like absolutely depleted our missile capabilities have become, much like our national like oil reserves are depleted because of this war.
That's not true.
So
there's no evidence to indicate that our national oil reserves are depleted because of this war, and that doesn't even make any
mathematical
sense.
They're at the lowest point in the last like 45 years or something like that.
Well, the thing is that you're saying depleted. Like we get over like half of our like foreign oil from Canada. How much of our oil comes from the Middle East? It's not even 10%, I don't think. So how would that even work?
Because Donald Trump is actually like flooding the U.S. market with our oil reserves in order to keep gas prices low. Because if he wasn't doing that, and also the other side of that is like China, for some reason, has decided to not import nearly as much oil since the start of the war. So like,
what do you mean for some reason? They're importing less oil because the Strait of Hormuz has become semi-permeable, and crude oil purchases of Iranian oil from China has also decreased by like nearly half. And the explanation for that is pretty simple, right?
Well, no. I mean, like China was importing way much more oil before the start of it, and then they stopped.
Why do you think
literally
that is?
when this? I think they made the conscious decision like not to. Like, what do you mean? It wasn't because of lack of availability. Like they cut the demand is what I'm saying. Not that they were incapable of doing it. What I am arguing is that they decided to say, you know what, we're going to cut the demand specifically from here, and they're probably importing most of it from Russia. So again, like,
why do you think China at the start of the Iran war decided to cut their so-called demand? I don't even think that the demand was necessarily cut. The supply was cut because you remember when we blockaded the Strait of Hormuz, in reference to like blockading Iran's blockade essentially, and where we prevented Iran from exporting oil and they lost billions upon billions of dollars worth of oil revenue. Do you remember that part? So if we prevented Iranian ships from sailing out of the Strait of Hormuz and by the way, half of their oil already goes to China, then don't you think that was the reason why China purchased less Iranian oil, because they physically could not purchase any more?
Yeah. Yeah, but no, but
Okay.
what I'm saying is there's a what I'm saying is kind of very specific, and what I'm saying I'm not wrong in saying it. They literally okay. Look, I don't want to go down this rabbit hole, but what I'm saying
All right.
is my ultimate point is that China did us a favor as far as the price of gas in the United States is concerned, based on that choice. That's just separate. So that's one. Number two, Pete Hegseth was literally at on the floor. Was it last week or this past week, where he was begging for more money to rebuild our stockpile of missiles, which we have depleted through Ukraine, Israel, and otherwise.
It's obviously been depleted. Now, whether or not it's at a critical state, I've seen no articles saying specifically that. But the point was that, by the way, Iran has obviously incurred more damage during the war to their production sites and so on and so forth than we have. They haven't hit any of our real production sites, at least not to my knowledge, right? They've hit
but
certain
Iran has
military
been
bases.
preparing for this.
Yeah, but they're obviously not
sorry.
doing well. It's not going great for them. But
They're
we do
doing
have other
very
people in the
well.
requests. They lost.
They're
their
doing
Supreme,
They are doing extremely well. They have become the fourth.
They lost.
They have
their,
become like the fourth
hold on.
multipolar.
Hold on for a second. They've lost nearly half of their missile stockpiles, right? They've lost a significant portion of their Shahed drone capability, which means they have less generally to launch. Their 3 nuclear sites have been damaged, and thousands of centrifuges have been destroyed, and they've been moving things to Pickaxe Mountain, which we're going to hit pretty soon, right?
Which again,
their military
Mountain
leadership
renamed.
has been their military leadership has been annihilated. Their leader died on the first second of the war. How is this good for them? Do you actually think that if you're Iran, you would say that you're doing amazing?
They are. They are, because the American people are feeling the squeeze. We are like months away from a complete economic global collapse because of the way that from the way that the United States have run this war. Because Donald Trump obviously is a moron, but then again, Iran has now become one of the most crucial points in a multipolar world. You have
what do you mean?
United
What do you mean by
States,
crucial point?
Russia, China, and now Iran.
Okay, what do you mean by crucial point?
They've demonstrated obvious control over the Strait of Hormuz.
No,
and
they
then
haven't.
With the Houthis,
wait,
in
no, they
Yemen,
haven't. They don't have any navy. No, hold on. No, they haven't. They don't have any navy. The only thing that they've done to Strait of Hormuz is make it semi-permeable.
If they don't have any navy, then why aren't ships flowing the same way that they used to? There used to be hundreds of ships
because there are
a day.
missiles. Yeah, really quick. It's a really simple thing, right? You don't have to actually have a active blockade in order to launch missiles at random commercial ships that may or may not have anything to do with the actual war or a particular ideology. And from that alone, you can increase in. Okay. From that alone, you can increase insurance prices, and you can also make people not want to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. You don't actually have to have a blockade. Not to mention naval lines that they put in the Strait of Hormuz as well.
Of course. So how many ships on a daily basis now go through the Strait of Hormuz?
Less than prior. But that doesn't mean they control it.
But not just less than, dramatically less than, to the tune of maybe one third. So how does that impact global marketplace?
Yeah, what are you arguing? Who are you arguing against? Because no one here has said that there has been the global market has faced nothing, or that oil prices have not risen, right? Or that certain countries haven't been. What do you think I'm saying? What do you think my argument is?
What you're saying is that Iran is losing this war.
Wait, you think that Iran is winning the war because they're pissing everyone else off just by disrupting global oil prices? Because if that's what you're saying, China has been very pissed at Iran for what they've been doing. They've been actually more aggressive against Iran.
Bro, there's been reports that China is supplying military information for targets.
That's
for
Russia.
Iran.
That's Russia, not China. That's Russia,
not
China.
It's China.
No, it's Russia. I've read the articles. It's China. It's Russia, not China.
It's okay. No, it's not just Russia. It's China. China has one of the largest satellite-equipped ships, or whatever they are. They're like the size of an aircraft carrier. They have one or two of those. They are literally supplying Iran with targets.
I'm sorry, but just because I've been in prior conversations with you, you always tend to get things wrong. I'm going to just make sure you correct yourself again. Russia has been doing that, right? And I'm pretty sure not too long ago, actually, in the Caspian Sea, Ukraine actually struck Iran as well. So no, they're not doing well. I don't know how. Like, tell me. I want you to really explain this. How is Iran doing quote unquote amazing? Like, if you're saying they're surviving or they're doing better than people expected them to, like, okay, at least that makes more sense. How are they doing amazing?
They're doing number one because they've demonstrated to the globe that they have power over the Strait of Hormuz.
What,
Even
they
with
can
Donald
launch?
Trump's,
They can launch missiles at cruise ships. I mean, at commercial ships.
Yeah, but you act like that's nothing. You act like
that's not amazing. Wait, okay. Well, let me get this right. Let me get this right. Hold on. Let me get this right. You used to have the largest missile stockpile in the Middle East. You have 3 large nuclear sites.
They still have
and you hold on for a second. 50% of your missile stockpile is gone. Your Shahed drones are being destroyed, right? Your critical military targets are constantly being attacked. Your air force is being attacked. Your defensive, your air surface-to-air missiles are being destroyed, right? Your nuclear sites are being destroyed. Top IRGC and nuclear scientists are being killed. Your supreme leader gets killed. His son nearly dies. His son is gay, and his son is disfigured. But you're doing amazing. Not to mention, you have no navy, right? Your only real destroyer in the Indian Ocean was destroyed. But you're saying that they're doing amazing?
But
that's doing amazing. But hold on, let me get this right. They're doing amazing because they can launch a missile at a commercial ship and scare people from moving in and out of the Strait of Hormuz. That is doing amazing. Amazing has an entirely new meaning. I am sorry.
Matt, real quick. You have to understand, because again, this goes back. Given all the sanctions to Iran never had a strong navy. They never had a strong air force. The U.S. has been sanctioning them for as long as I've been alive, so at least 30 plus years. No, that's number one. Number two, the fact that Iran has demonstrated that they can stand up to the greatest military power on earth, quote unquote, and hold the line, number one, to the point where Donald Trump and his cronies are breaking and coming to the table, asking.
No, actually, it's the other way around. Iran has been trying to beg for peace and come to the table, and Trump has been rejecting it.
The only reliable.
Do you read every news article opposite or something?
Do you think that Donald Trump, every time he comes out and says, "Oh, they're begging us for a deal. They're begging us for a deal"? No, they're not. The reality is, there's
other
a very
reports have been
militant
generally saying
branch
that
of the
they've been asking for a deal.
IRGC that never even wanted to agree to the moratorium of understanding because they knew exactly what was going to take place. The MOU was used as a guise for the United States to take a step back, reload, manipulate the oil markets for Donald Trump.
Thank God it was.
To quell concerns. To quell concerns for all the dumbasses that vote for him. And what's actually happening now is they've demonstrated that. And by the way, the 50% of their missile stock being gone is completely made up. Like
that's actually according to some estimates. Some estimates place even higher.
Yeah, and most estimates actually suggest that they only got rid of about 20 to 30%, and most of those were old missiles that they built in the 1990s.
Yeah,
and they
that would still be
strategically.
Yeah. I've read the articles. No article says that. No article says that the 20 to 30. It's 20 to 30%, and of the 20 to 30%,
what articles are you
missiles.
reading?
No, where'd you get the?
News
where'd you getting the?
WAPO?
No, actually, no. I've been reading Reuters. I've even been reading from the New York Times and what they've been saying. Wait, you think Reuters is like? Wait, you think? Hold on. You think Reuters is equivalent to Fox News in terms of media bias?
I think Reuters, the New York Times, Fox News, all of them are pro-war. All of them.
Okay, wait. You think the New York Times is? Hey, hold on. You think the New York Times is?
The New York Times laundered the same lies that Trump did. What are you talking about?
Okay.
Famously,
that's really interesting. What news article or what publisher is not pro-war?
In the United States?
Yeah.
You'd be hard pressed to find one, my man. I mean, you got to find.
Hold on. Hold on. How about this? Let's go a little international. Do you think Al Jazeera is for the Iran war as well?
Al Jazeera is not for the war.
Okay. So you're saying that every single American media company is for the Iran war, basically.
I'm saying every single media company that is owned by a billionaire. In the United States, in the United States, is more than likely willing to just regurgitate these quote unquote leaks from unnamed intelligence sources
That's
to
always
the
how
American
things
people.
works when you're dealing with contemporary like active
Yeah, of course.
conflicts. You're always going to have like leaks, or you're going to have certain people that are unnamed saying things. That's generally how things are. Nothing is conclusive yet, but I think nevertheless, even if it's 20 to 30% or up to 50% or even up to more than that, I wouldn't call that amazing, especially when all sorts of our let's say if I'm Iran, all sorts of our active military sites and strategic vantage points are constantly being attacked, and America has become even more vicious now than they were before. Yeah, I wouldn't call that doing amazing at all. And you're talking about the disruption to the oil market. Of course, that exists, and that's really like the only leverage that they have. But what about the billions of dollars of oil revenue that they have lost? What about the rial, the Iranian currency being at like 2 million to the dollar? What about hyperinflation in Iran that's been talked about by economists, right? But what about the fact that people don't have internet there? Like you're saying that having hyperinflation, having the rial 2 million to the dollar, having all your missile stockpiles being sites being attacked, your production sites being attacked, your nuclear sites being attacked, having your supreme leader that's been reigning since maybe I think the late 80s. I think Khamenei was reigning since the late 80s, being killed in the first day
70s.
of the war by Israel. No, not the 70s, because the first leader was Khomeini, not Khamenei, but that's another thing. You're saying that all of those things are amazing for Iran. They're doing amazing.
Yeah, Matt. I'm using it comparatively to what they were. And again, this is why it matters. Like,
wait,
all of those things that you're talking about, like, oh my God, they got the internet cut off, and they're losing billions of dollars in oil revenue, and they're losing this, they're losing that. You're talking about a civilization of people that has been completely sanctioned on the global marketplace for such a long time.
Why?
As if they weren't already planning.
Hold on, why?
Again, hang on, real quick. Well, first of all, the answer, U.S. imperialism.
U.S. imperial. Hold on. What about the funding of like? Hold on. What about the funding to the Houthis in Yemen, Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, and Hamas in Gaza? Do you think that has anything to do with the reason why they were being sanctioned, like being the main state sponsor of terrorism?
So you're saying that sending money to terrorist organizations is a bad thing? Because the United States does it all the time.
Hold on.
Who do you think overthrew the ruler in Syria?
Wait,
it was
sending money to terrorist organizations. Wait, hold on. Without trying to do a whataboutism, do you think funding terrorist organizations
It's not
are
a
bad?
whataboutism.
No. Hold on. Let's focus on the topic really quickly. Do you agree that funding terrorist organizations that start wars is a bad thing as a general concept? Yes or no?
Yeah. I do.
Okay,
That's
perfect.
why
Okay,
I
perfect.
do not
Okay,
support
perfect.
funding
Do you believe?
U.S.
Okay,
wars.
that's totally
Because
fine.
the United
No.
States
Don't do
is the
whataboutism.
largest
Hold on. Don't jump anywhere. Don't jump anywhere. Yeah, I get it.
organization in
I
the world.
get the typical leftist argument. I understand it. America, imperialism, white supremacy, deconstructing whitenism. I get it. Leftists. We live in 2026 right now. I get it. I get the memo. Okay, I got the memo. Okay, but let's get into the details of this. Don't do whataboutism. So Iran, according to the FDD, was spending $16 billion every single year funding the Houthis in Yemen to disrupt global maritime trade and attack Saudi Arabia. They just attacked a refinery site in Saudi Arabia. Okay, they did $200 billion worth of economic damage in 2024 alone, according to World Economic Forum, and also destroyed Egypt's economy. You have Hamas in Gaza that started the second largest a war against the Jews with the second largest terrorist attack in the 21st century, only second to 9/11. You have Hezbollah in southern Lebanon that helps poisons Americans in South America and starts wars with Israel and obviously undermines the Lebanese government sovereignty. You're saying Iran funding these groups does not warrant sanctions. Don't go to any other country.
Warrant sanctions.
Okay, so you're for the sanctions then. Hold on. So you agree that those things?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so
Here's
hold on.
Matt.
So you think you can fund 3 terrorist groups and you shouldn't be sanctioned for it then, right?
Is that the limit? So if you fund 3 terrorist groups, you should be sanctioned by the world?
I'm asking you. What do you think?
Because I think you know the answer. You already know that there is no country on earth that supports more dictatorships across the globe than the United States.
See how he's doing a whataboutism yet again.
It's not a whataboutism.
This is the issue with leftism. Hold on. Don't focus on the United States. Let's focus on Iran. Hold on. Isolate America just for a second. Focus on Iran. Let's get detailed and specific here. Focus on Iran for just a second. Okay? So for all of the things I've already mentioned for the 3 different terrorist organizations that they fund and what they do, right, and them being the main state sponsor of terrorism for those groups, does that warrant sanctions on Iran themselves? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So you're for sanctions on the IRGC and the Iranian, the country of Iran. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Sure, but Matt, I mean, again,
thank you.
like I think it's funny because if you were to make the argument of like why we went into Iran, you'd be like, well, for the last 47 years, they've been doing this X, Y, and Z, and it's kind of like, if that sounds to me kind of like the same argument that people who are for the war in Ukraine, as if the history started in February of 2022, just like people who support Israeli aggression in Gaza, as if it started on October 7th, 2023. You have to
I agree. It didn't start on October of 2023. I agree.
You have to ignore so much.
Yeah, we could go back to the 7th century if we talk about their Arabs and
but
their
like we don't want.
wars.
I don't want to do that. But what I want to do,
there were 4 Gaza wars, not just one. We could go back to every single one, and Hamas started every single one of them, actually. But go on. Yeah.
Hamas didn't exist for that long. They haven't existed. And again, like the idea that like
wait, Hamas didn't exist for the 4 Gaza wars that happened. What are you talking about?
No. I'm saying Hamas, like they barely even like got elected. Like it was something like 44% of the voters actually elected Hamas.
They won a plurality of the vote, not the majority.
That was the last 2006. And that was the last time that Israel allowed them to even have a vote.
That's not true. That's not true.
It is true.
No. The Palestinian. The PLO. Hold on. Let me correct you. The PLO can hold elections any day they want. For example, the current leader of the PLO has actually been rejecting elections because he knows he will lose, and because he knows the majority of people in the West Bank support Hamas over the PA. Right, and so they can hold elections. They just don't want to. Israel's not telling them, you can't hold elections, you can't hold elections. No. Do you think that Hamas, which runs a dictatorial regime that is not very democratic, that is an Islamic terrorist organization, wants to just hold elections? No. Elections were held by the Palestinian Legislative Elections, or Council, by the way, in 2006, and it was internationally monitored. And that's why they were willing to do it, because they knew how popular they were. But they're not going to run elections and lose now. They don't have to. They hold power. They don't need to do it. Right?
Yeah. Do you think, hang on, real quick. You understand that like Hamas was the locally elected government in Palestine. They were picking up trash. They were running schools. They were doing everything. Yeah, they were.
I agree. They were running. I agree. They were running. They were running. I agree. They were running
the local government.
I agree. They were running schools, which is why.
And we're talking about a society who was elected
infrastructure
in 2005 when
2006.
Israel again they were occupying these people. They absolutely were. They even bragged about how, we pulled our troops out in 2005. Like that's when Hamas was elected. Not only that, that's number one.
True.
Number two.
Hold on. Why do you keep? This is the thing. Listen, I can respect someone that comes up here and can acknowledge the fact that they're not super knowledgeable on the topic, and they can say, okay, like, I think this may be true. You can tell me what you think or what your evidence is for anything that's the opposite. You're out here with confidence, and you're, like, pompously saying these things like you know what you're talking about. That's just false, okay? The 2005 disengagement, pulling troops that you're talking about, happened in 2005 under Ariel Sharon, right, under the Likud party, the same party Netanyahu was a part of. 21 settlements were destroyed, 17 in southern Gaza, 4 in northern Gaza. 8,500 Jews were kicked out from the Gaza Strip and were relocated to Israel proper, okay? And bodies of Jews that were buried in Gaza were exhumed from Gaza and reburied in Israel. And greenhouse gases and all sorts of equipment were left in the Gaza Strip for the Gazan people to decide what they want to do with their future. In 2006, the Palestinian Legislative Council announces the Palestinian legislative elections, and Hamas wins the plurality but not the majority of the vote. And since then, Hamas subsequently starts 4 different Gaza wars. You have Operation Cast Lead in 2008 to 2009, and then you have Operation Protective Edge and Operation Pillar of the Fence. Not to mention, obviously, the most recent Gaza war, which has been like basically ongoing somewhat since October 7th. But each and every single one of those wars were started by Hamas and the PIJ, even after Israel already pulled over, which, by the way, is an argument for why I don't think Israel should ever withdraw from the West Bank. Because the argument that is typically given is that, well, the reason why they're doing terrorist attacks, or the reason why they're terrorists, and the reason why they keep shooting things is because you won't pull out of so-called occupied areas. Okay, well, Gaza was sort of the test, right? Pulled out of Gaza, and they still decided to launch 4 different wars that they lost, by the way. So, no,
Matt.
Israel shouldn't pull out of the West Bank, and the wars were started by Hamas, even after taking control of Gaza and being allowed to do whatever they want with it, and having Qatari and Iranian money, right?
Matt, you know what's funny? Real quick.
Mm-hmm.
All of those things that you described, which, by the way, you left out the Great Right of Return in 2018 for some reason, but all those things that you described, you're describing a group of people who, by all accounts of the international community, are being occupied. And according to international law, they have a right to resist their occupier. And the funny thing is, the framing of all the bullshit that you hear on mainstream media, Fox News, whatever, they always come back to this weird talking point where they say, does Israel have a right to defend themselves? Do they have a right to self-defense? Does Israel have a right to self-defense? According to international law, as the occupying force, no, you do not. Who actually has the right to defend themselves is Hamas. Is the occupied people
international
of
law doesn't
Palestine.
say that. Okay, really quickly, international law doesn't say that.
Does.
I've read international law. Yeah, this is one of those like moments where you're just making stuff up again. It does
It's
not say
not
that
one of these
if you are the
moments. That's
occupying
real.
force, you don't have the ability to engage in militaristic activity. Yeah. So which article is that?
They do not.
Which article is that?
They do not.
Which article? Which article?
Hang on, let me find it. I'll find it for you.
Exactly, because you're making that up. Hold on, but let me respond to you really quickly. I want to ask you. I want to get philosophical with you and ask you a quick question about occupation, because I think that's pretty interesting that you mentioned occupation. And so when we're talking about occupation,
interesting that you want to change the subject to be philosophical.
No, I'm not trying. No. Hold on. I just want to get a concept through. You're saying they've been occupying Gaza. Let's say prior to October 7th, just for a second. Are you talking about like actually occupying
prior to October 7th?
Okay. Yeah,
okay.
Because obviously Israel is now inside of the Gaza Strip now, right? So really quickly,
no.
Are you talking about?
I got you.
Perfect. Are you talking about like actually occupying land? Or are you talking about having like a blockade around the Gaza Strip because a terrorist organization runs it, which, by the way, is joint with Egypt since 2007 between an agreement between Israel and Egypt? Because no country that has an enclave full of designated terrorist organizations and supporters of terrorism, right, is going to just say, yeah, anyone can come through. Yeah, you want to kill all Jews and you're in Gaza? Yeah, you can come through, bro. You can come through. It's fine. No border, no blockade. Come in at will. You hate us? You want to kill us and slaughter us? That's totally fine, bro. No border. And by the way, do you know what really justifies the Gaza border? October 7th, 2006, 2008, 2009, 2012, 2014. All of those times where Hamas and the PIJ decided to launch a terrorist attack justifies the border. If they hate you, if over 70% of the Palestinians in Gaza, according to the PCPSR, the Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research, said that they loved October 7th, yeah, call me crazy, but maybe you should have a really strong border against those people. Maybe there should be a really good border. And do you know how much grace Israel had? Israel had so much grace that even prior to October 7th, over 20,000 people in Gaza had work permits to work in Israel. They were given work permits, which meant they could go in Israel and work in the agricultural sector and make way more money than they were making inside of the Gaza Strip. So what the hell are you even talking about?
20,000?
I want to get something
how
from
many?
you. Right, I want to get something. Well, there's not a whole ton of people in the Gaza Strip, and I want to get something out of you.
Holy shit!
What do you actually consider an occupation? Try to be simple with it. Don't give me a long-winded response.
What do I consider an occupation?
Yeah.
What Israel has done to Gaza.
No,
for the
actually
last
descriptively
50 years.
explain. Yeah, that's another way of avoiding. Descriptively explain to me what an occupation actually is to you.
So when you are a separate power or a separate government who is controlling not only the people of a separate, unrecognized nation, people who are not even allowed to fish 20 miles off the coast of their own country.
A blockade?
Which, again, that they're not able to, you're the one who controls what can go in and out of a certain country.
Okay, hold on. Nothing too long-winded. So you're basically saying a blockade constitutes occupation, right?
No, I'm essentially saying that Israel has been occupying.
Brother, please,
Yeah, but, like,
without
again,
just
like,
for a
Matt,
second,
you do
you're
this
trying to
thing,
give me a
Matt, you
definition.
gotta
Hold on,
stop
hold on.
doing it.
You're trying to give me a
People don't
definition.
buy it, bro.
I get that you're saying Israel did this and Israel did that and Israel killed Julius Caesar. We get it, brother. We get it, okay? But I want you to actually get through this for a second.
Brutus
So does a
killed
blockade?
Julius Caesar.
Okay. Well, Candace Owens would probably say Israel did it, but nevertheless, and Israel
No,
also is the reason
Candace
why someone
Owens
tripped
would
and fell
say
today.
that it was Macron's
But just-
wife, who's a man, killed it.
Maybe probably say that as well. To be honest, I can agree. Can we shake on that? We can probably agree on that.
Yeah,
we can agree. Brigitte Macron's, Emmanuel Macron's wife's testicles is what killed Julius Caesar. It was not the Roman Senate,
Yes.
actually. Okay.
Agreed.
So, do you believe
And they're called
that
Brutus.
Okay. Do you believe that a blockade constitutes an occupation? Try not to go off on a tangent here. Do you agree that a blockade constitutes an occupation? Oh, sorry, I did not mean to mute you. Sorry, I pressed my keyboard at the wrong minute there. Okay.
Strictly speaking, no. Strictly speaking,
Okay.
no.
So, do you agree that generally speaking, throughout Gaza's history, right, ever since Israel pulled out, they weren't physically occupying the land area of Gaza. They had a blockade, meaning they had a security perimeter around the Gaza Strip, and they would try to control what comes in and out because there was a designated terrorist organization controlling the Gaza Strip that was not recognized really by any power, right, including Egypt. This is why in 2007, Israel and Egypt came together to make an agreement to have a blockade over Gaza to prevent certain weapons from being smuggled into the Gaza Strip, and obviously for security purposes, like not having October 7th or 2014 or 2012 happen to you, or not to have cross-border tunnels being built or rockets being fired at you, right? So do you agree, right, that Israel didn't have land area control over the Gaza Strip, but they had a border and they tried to dictate what went in and out? Do you agree that was the case?
I mean, man, Matt, okay. To that very specific question, number one, you keep invoking Egypt as if they're like a neutral party and they're not completely backed by the United States, who have been propping up dictators in Egypt for
Oh my
like,
God, there is the
so
tangent
long.
again. Oh, he's doing it again.
It's not a tangent. Matt,
Oh.
like context matters. Context
I'm not saying
matters.
context doesn't matter. I just want. All I'm asking you for, brother,
Is
is
for
a
like very specific.
brother.
I know.
All I'm asking you for is a definition of something so we can get through something. That's all I'm asking you for. So, do you agree? Right.
Sure, I'll agree with your definition.
Okay. So
I'll
a
agree with
blockade. So a blockade does not necessarily mean.
Sure.
Or an occupation does
A
not necessarily
blockade's
mean.
not occupation. Great.
Wait.
What's the
No.
other part that I have to agree to? Matt, like I find it disingenuous when you like try to like break down these like minuscule definitions and you're incapable of somehow trying to argue the reality of
God,
occupation.
Okay.
Like I feel like
Oh.
you need to do this.
Okay,
And also,
let's
by
try
the way,
again. Let's try again.
it's a
We
bad
need to
look.
get a definition here.
Don't
We
do
need-
that.
It's a bad look for. It's a bad look for me. Trust me. Sure, I know. Okay.
It is.
Do we agree? Yeah, sure. Do you agree that an occupation, or do you believe that an occupation could not necessarily just be control over a land area, but also having a border and dictating what comes in and out of a country? So having a border with a country and also having a blockade on said country or enclave. Do you believe that that constitutes as a blockade?
Yes.
Or occupation, sorry, occupation. Okay. So
Sure, that
were
would
we
be an
occupying
occupation.
were we occupying Iran? Would you say we were occupying Iran, right, when we had a blockade over their oil exports and tried to limit what went in and out of Iran?
Yes, I would.
Wait, but you would say we occupied Iran?
We are literally, I mean, yeah, like occupation is part of imperialism, like sanctions or otherwise.
That has nothing. I never asked you whether or not occupation was part of imperialism.
Like Matt,
Okay,
I feel like
Iran-
you're trying to like boil down to occupation.
Iran is
Matt.
1.65 million square kilometers. Would you say that we were occupying Iran when
What's
we
the population of
imposed
Iran?
about 95 million? Okay, would you
Yeah,
say
that's
right? Would you say that we were occupying Iran when we imposed a blockade on Iranian exports?
I mean, no, like
Okay,
not
perfect.
really.
So having a
But, like-
blockade or having a border, does not constitute occupation the same way that Israel having a border against the Gaza Strip, which is the most common sense thing you could possibly do when they all want to kill you, and also having
It's
a blockade because a terrorist organization controls it, so you want to dictate what goes in and out of that
It's not common
terrorist
sense.
hub. That is not an occupation. It's called having a border and dictating what goes in and out of a terrorist enclave. I want to know. Name the country.
Matt,
hold on. I want to know.
You're
Name
not
the country.
debating me. You're debating scholars who I am regurgitating on this panel. I am regurgitating the knowledge of scholars who have observed this occupation, observed this apartheid, who have been against the South African apartheid, who see what apartheid is, understand what apartheid is, has been and seen what takes place in Gaza, in the occupied territories by the Israelis, and now you're trying to get me
Can I
off
say something?
topic by bringing up what is a blockade, what is a occupation by definition.
These are basic
And
questions.
I gotta say, as a conservative who tries to make these arguments, nobody's buying it, bro.
I think smart people. I think. By the way, I'm just looking at the chat right now. I can barely see the YouTube chat right now. By the way, thanks to everyone who's watching YouTube as well. I'm looking at the TikTok chat. It's a little bit closer to me, and my eyesight's really bad. I got to see the eye doctor, but I'm gonna.
Oh, this is on YouTube too.
Yeah, it's on YouTube as well, X. But people
sick.
don't buy what you're saying right now. People, I'm looking at the TikTok chat just from what I can see. Jonathan says, I'm buying it. Don't mess with Zohan says, I'm buying it. This other guy says, new fan, new follower. Dude, yeah, people understand logic and arguments and actual definitions. And this guy just called you a left.
Yeah, but your logic is based on
So
you're
this is what you're not
you're-
understanding. Hold on. This is what you're not understanding, dude. People can understand logic and factual arguments. You're so upset that I'm asking you for a basic definition. It's a definition so we can understand what actually constitutes this thing that you're saying is this particular thing. But let me mention this because I'm a person of color. Hold on, brother. Hold on. Because I'm a person of color and because I'm supposedly oppressed and because of all those things, I can tell you what apartheid is, okay? So let me make it very clear.
Yeah.
It's not apartheid at all. Having a border, let's try something a little different, guys, right? Let's try something a little different and unique. Let's say that it's October 1st, 2023, okay? 7 days before October 7th commences. What if you were Israel, what would you do specifically in reference to Gaza? Specifically in reference to Gaza to not make it an apartheid or an occupation. What would you immediately do if you were Israel? October 1st, 2023. Go.
You would probably apologize for the 500 children that had already been killed in the West Bank that year. That's
I'm talking
what you
about
probably do.
I just said Gaza, dude. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, but but again, it's the same government that is enabling these things. What are you talking about? I'm sorry, am I wrong? Hey,
I'm sorry,
I know
dude.
what
I'm
I
not
would
even
do
trying
if
to.
I
I'm not
was-
even trying to be rude. I genuinely feel like you're having tracking issues, man. What was my question?
Matt, I'm answering.
Hold on. What was my question?
Your question was, if you were the Israeli government and you wanted to prevent a terrorist attack, and it's October 1st,
No.
2023.
No. Okay.
What was your question?
Okay. Please try listening. Okay.
All right.
If you were Israel,
Look, to be fair, I have attention deficit issues, but I'm giving my best to you right now, Matt. Go ahead.
let's
Ask
try again. Okay.
Let's go.
If you were Israel,
I'm ready.
And perfect. If you were Israel and it was October 1st, 2023, okay? By the way, sorry to fire. Let me unmute you. Okay? I did not mean to mute you. I just pressed my keyboard thing again. My space bar. Okay. And you wanted to end the occupation and the apartheid so-called happening in Gaza, what would you immediately do? What actions would you immediately take? Forget about the West Bank. Forget about anything else that would make you change the topic. What would you immediately do if you were Israel October 1st to end the occupation and end the so-called apartheid?
Am I Benjamin Netanyahu in this scenario? Who am I in this scenario?
Let's say you're you. Let's say you're you and you're the Prime Minister of Israel. Let's go.
Great. What we're going to do is we're going to become an actual democracy, and we're going to have a one-state solution where we allow everybody who is a citizen. We'll make all these new citizens. It'll be great. We'll be a one-state solution, and we'll all be a big democracy where we allow people to vote and we give them equal rights. They can drive on the same roads regardless of their religion or otherwise. You know, it'll be great. It'll be like living in the United States.
Okay, you didn't really answer my question. What would you immediately do to the Gaza Strip? So would you open up the border? Okay, how about let me
Yeah, of course.
hand through this.
Of course.
So you would immediately open up the Gaza border.
Yeah, and we would allow these
and
people
you would allow
to access
hold on.
medicine,
and what would you do?
Healthcare,
and what would you
all these things that they've been deprived of.
No, they weren't being deprived of that prior to October 7th.
Yeah, they were.
October 7th, they received that. But nevertheless, what would you do with all the
they
people
have to go
pouring
through
in?
checkpoints to get cancer treatments, bro.
What would you? Okay.
Like, what are you talking about?
What would you? Plenty of people. Have you ever heard of like people traveling for healthcare? That's not a very uncommon thing, right? But nevertheless,
not when you live in Gaza.
Try not
to go through checkpoints.
Try not to
get to a hospital that can treat your cancer.
What checkpoints in Gaza exist?
There's so many checkpoints to get through certain points.
Are you talking about? Oh, I don't know what's so confusing for this person. Are you talking about to get from a non-Israeli controlled area to an Israeli controlled area? Do you have to go through a checkpoint so people can know who you are and whether or not you are a terrorist or they have equipment? Yeah, that is basic stuff, dude. That is the most basic shit known to man.
It's not basic.
Okay, let's try again. Let's try again.
You're treating Palestinians as if all of them are like, again, you have to like.
Do you know what this argument is? Do you know what this argument is? It would be like me saying that the TSA thinks that every American is
a terrorist.
Is a terrorist because they screen everyone. Whether you're a baby, whether you're 50, whether you're 20, whether you're 30, whether you're liberal, conservative, whatever.
Right.
You have to go through a TSA checkpoint, regardless of whether you're Arab, black, white, whatever. Okay, and so every single person that is in a non-Israeli controlled part of Gaza that wants to go to an Israeli controlled part of Gaza has to be checkpoint. Has to go through a checkpoint so that they don't have a fucking explosive on their chest and blow the fuck up and kill so many different people. Yeah, why do you think that's crazy?
Because the other side of it is that the TSA on the other side has already decided that they're not going to let chocolate, fucking, regular medicines, curable vaccines into the other side of it. If you live outside the airport,
that's
the TSA is
going
to be the ones. That is true. That's what's happening. It's an apartheid state, Matt.
This guy actually can't comprehend.
Smart guy.
This guy can't comprehend it. This guy can't comprehend it. Can I tell you the truth?
You can't.
When I first actually started hearing about this topic, I didn't even know who was on the correct side of things. So I was like, let me do my due diligence. Let me not just like become very low IQ and say, okay, this is my perspective already because some left-wing girl with a nose piercing told me it's an apartheid. I did research. I did my due diligence. And
probably kind of hot, though. I mean, come on. You like it, right?
What?
She got a little nose piercing. You like it. She's probably kind of hot, though. Not to get you off topic.
What is honestly wrong with this guy, man? And by the way, I don't think that's true. I don't think that left-wing women are at all really attractive. But okay, that's beside. I mean, I was just in New York City. Trust me, I saw it. They're not really attractive at all.
You mean the fat? You mean the fat ones with bad skin and a nose pierce and short, chopped up hair that's blue and purple? Yeah.
Yeah, they're so attractive. Oh my God, dude.
I'll stick with my conservative-looking wife, who's gorgeous, as opposed to those pigs.
Yeah,
who can barely walk from point A to point B if it's more than 10 feet away because they're so fat. Fat justice. Don't body
shame. Hate the World Cup.
It's okay to be fat. Fat is
3X.
good. Fat
hey,
is
let's
beautiful.
go. Let's go. Yeah, when you go to the store to buy some clothes, make sure you get that 3X or whatever the hell it is. And
that is beautiful. Rizzo is as beautiful as Beyonce.
Hammer. Don't say fat.
Beyonce.
Don't say fat. Say plus size because we have to be inclusive.
No,
don't forget that.
Plus size.
How about Zoftig? That's Yiddish.
Matt, hang on, real quick, Matt. I'm very curious. What is your YouTube channel? Because I like
the nuclear reaction. So if you want to go back and rewind and watch the absolute. I don't even know what to describe this as. You can go on the nuclear. And by the way, for anyone watching who's not on YouTube, if you want to rewatch the stream or anything like that, you can go over on the Nuclear Reaction YouTube channel, which is where you can watch the streams and stuff like that. And there's also a really cool intro that plays at the beginning of the streams as well. We're gonna also get an outro, so be ready for that. So yeah, the Nuclear Reaction over on YouTube. But yeah, dude.
I just want to know. I think you're a really great debater. I love having, I'm really glad that you spent time with me, and I love watching you on Jubilee, by the way.
So you want to go to my YouTube channel? It's called Apartheid Against Stupidity. Look it up.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I don't know. You might get blocked.
Okay. Let me ask you, dude. You said something that's totally false, and I think we've already had an entire. I don't even think I want to do that conversation again with you. I already debunked you on the whole apartheid claim because it's bullshit. But what would you do, right, in the situation in which, sure, you open up the border and you let all those Gazans in that are unvetted, that could or could not have weapons, that you're not going to put through checkpoints because that's racist or that's evil or whatever. So they're going to all just pour in, regardless of ideology, regardless of their history. They may be part of the PIJ. They may have been part of a terrorist attack. You never know. You're going to just let them all in anyways. Okay, perfect. That's great. What do you do with the PIJ, Hamas, the PFLP, the Lions Den, the Mujahideen brigades, and all of those different terrorist organizations within Gaza? They're like, hey, we want to kill you. We want to shoot you and kill you. We're not going to stop. We're not going to be peaceful. We're not going to even be integrated into your state because your state would be the state of the infidels. It would not be under an Islamic regime, right? And it would not be an Islamic state. So we're not going to integrate. So what do you do with all of those terrorist organizations that are like, hey, we're ready to fight right now. We're launching rockets. Let's go. What do you do then?
Man, I think it's pretty clear that what you do is all the people who are not that, you allow them in, you give them
have a vetting process. So you do have a vetting process.
And you say, hang on,
you're wrong.
Wait. Why can't I answer the question?
Let him go. Yeah.
What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? Okay, you let these people in, you make them citizens. Okay, and then they rise up. What happens then?
Like,
what if you're wrong?
God, dude. Oh my God.
Okay, we know what you're gonna say. Let them in, make them citizens.
Human death and suffering is not.
Okay, great. What if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? You're not Israeli. You don't have to live there.
Like, bro, like I've been.
Let me ask the question, and then you can expand. Let me ask the question, then you can expand.
Oh my God!
What if you're wrong?
I was already asked the question. I'm trying to answer.
No. You said let them in, become citizens. Okay, great. They're citizens. What if you're wrong and they rise up and start killing people? What then? What if they trick the vetters? What if they What if they fooled the vetters? Oh, we're ready for peace. We want to live nice. Oh, oops, gotcha, Takia. What happens if you're wrong? What happens if you're wrong? Do you suffer the consequences for being wrong, or do the Israelis suffer the consequences?
Okay, so to answer Matt's question, what I would do is I would naturalize all those citizens, and what I would say is that, hey, now that we're all part of one state, we can all vote.
Wait, what do you do with the? Wait, you didn't answer my question. My question included the like nearly a dozen terrorist organizations. Yes, actively in Gaza.
Crazy,
launching rockets, want to kill you. What do you do with those?
America, and
what do you do with those organizations, dude? Like, be serious and answer the question for once.
Including the people in the organization.
The same thing that you do with the crazy organizations that exist in the United States. What do you mean?
Oh my God!
So you want them to let in Hamas then?
Hamas exists. It already exists, just like Israel.
Okay, great. And it doesn't exist in Israel, though. So you want to bring it into Israel?
Yeah, but no. Oh my God! You act like they're gonna come over the border and try to
You mean like October 7th?
They've already done that.
Are you October 7th? You mean like October 7th?
Dude, brother. They used powered paragliders to enter Israel. They use bulldozers to destroy blockade infrastructure or for example, fence infrastructure and border infrastructure. And they slaughtered 1,200 people. Over half of them being civilians. They kidnapped 2 babies, brought them into Gaza, strangled them with their bare hands, and they recorded slaughtering 365 people at a music festival.
It's because of occupation. I get it now.
Okay,
no, you're right. It's because of occupation.
We actually don't even know.
No.
Because Israel wouldn't let journalists in, and also.
Okay, great. We're not talking about journalists. We're not talking about journalists. We're not talking about journalists. We're not talking about
Hannibal Directive.
We're talking about Hamas.
Hannibal Directive.
We're talking about Hamas.
Do you know what the Hannibal Directive is? Hang on, King.
No. We're talking about Hamas. Let's stick to Hamas. No, let's stick to Hamas. We'll stick to Hamas, okay? They did October 7th because of oppression. Now answer me this. Where does Hamas come from? What are they an offshoot of? What organization do they come from?
Do you know what the Hannibal Directive was?
What organization? Yeah, the Hannibal Directive. I know all about it.
What was the Hannibal
Directive? In 2016. Great. Now tell
What
me.
was the? Wait, hang
it was
on.
repealed
real
in
quick.
2016. It was repealed in 2016. Perfect.
But
now,
it was given on that day.
No, it wasn't.
Haaretz.
No,
Yes,
it wasn't.
It was.
Now, great.
According
We're
to
going to stick with
Haaretz
Hamas.
and
Fine.
multiple
They did the
sources.
Hannibal directive. You're right. They killed all of
Oh,
them.
so now
That's
okay,
great. That's
all right.
great. You're right. Now let's stick to Hamas.
So, but what
let's
is
stick
it?
to Hamas. You're going to get
so
dropped.
did Hamas kill 1,200 people?
Yes, they did. Now, getting back to Hamas.
And
let's
how
see if
many?
you can answer. Let's see if you can answer a question. Hamas is an offshoot of what organization? Since it's about oppression.
How many of them were?
You're gonna get dropped, dude. You're gonna get dropped if you don't answer the question.
Why?
Okay, next.
Why?
Because you don't get to come on here and monologue and take over the live with your bullshit. You want to have a conversation? Have a conversation. You said it's about oppression. If it wasn't for oppression, if Israel just let them in and they voted, everything would be okay. It's Israel's oppression that's the problem. Except Hamas is from the Muslim Brotherhood. The Muslim Brotherhood predates Israel by decades. The Muslim Brotherhood's goal isn't to take over Israel alone. It's to take over the world and to do so by force if necessary. So your idea that it's about oppression is ignorant. And if you're wrong and you let in all those people and they start murdering Israelis, you know what happens to you? Nothing. You get to be a loser on TikTok who just happened to be wrong. But you know what happens to the Israelis? They have to suffer the consequences. So rather than risk it because these people are trash, they are the dog shit of the earth. Palestinians are a skid mark on the earth's toilet. Rather than risk it, we'll keep them in fucking Gaza. And if we can, hopefully, push them as far out of there as possible. The further, the better. Greenland is my suggestion.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm not saying I agree with what Hammer just said, but again, like, it sucks because the spicy, what's his name? I don't even know his name. This spicy sausage guy is like incapable of being realistic here for a second. It's like, what do you do with a bunch of these terrorist organizations actively in the Gaza Strip? What do you actually do? And it's like, well, there are terrorist organizations everywhere, and we're terror. By the way, I have to drop you, Hammer. You got a violation. There are terrorist organizations everywhere, and we're terrorist organizations. Like, dude, just answer the question. Be realistic. By the way, I don't condone what Hammer said, just to reiterate that before anyone clips that and says whatever. Yeah, okay. Is he still here? He is still here. Okay, Hammer's on another account. Okay, let's bring Hammer up. Hammer, please try to be more family friendly. Or friendly, sorry. We love you, but you have to try to be a little bit more friendly, family friendly.
Sure, all the guy's got to do is have a conversation and back and forth and not dialogue against something.
I got to give you, by the way, Spicy, I want to give you some credit, one, for thinking, so for liking to watch me on Jubilee, wanting to know where my show is on YouTube and stuff like that. Like, you don't seem like a bad guy. You seem like a decent guy who comes from who has a different political opinion. Now, I think you're incorrect. I think you're ignorant on your takes, but I don't think you're like an evil, malevolent guy. But I think that when I'm asking you some of these questions, like, what do you do with a bunch of these different terrorist organizations that in all reality are Islamic, hold an Islamic view to this, are fundamentalists, are saying, hey, we want to slaughter every single Jew hiding behind a rock because Sahih Muslim tells us to, right? And that this is how we're going to make the end times come about. What do you actually do if you're Israel with those terrorist organizations? Forget the citizens that you've somehow been able to vet and make citizens of the country. What do you do with the collaborators of Hamas and the terrorist organizations and the people that are still supporters of October 7th that don't want to integrate? What do you do if you're Israel? Go ahead.
Okay. Matt, real quick. I just want to say, I'm sorry to do this, but I really appreciate you having me on. But I want to also say I've read a lot of books. If I mischaracterize something, it's not my intention. I'm not trying to lie to you. I'm trying to pull it out of my memory. I'm not doing things or saying things that I'm mischaracterizing on purpose. That's never been my intent. My intent the entire time has always been to be accurate in what I say. And if I'm wrong, I will accept that and we can kind of look it up and we can move on, and I'll apologize. I'll accept that I'm wrong. That's number one.
What's your favorite book? What's your favorite book on the subject?
On the subject of...
You said you've read a lot of books. Did you mean on this subject or in general?
On which subject? And on
The
Gaza?
Israel-Palestinian subject
On
that
Israel?
we're talking about.
I mean, shit, man. You know, Gaza writes back. The
Gaza
100
writes
Years
back.
War.
Wait, hold
Yeah.
on. Gaza writes back. Who wrote that?
How to Sell a Genocide. I mean, shit, man. Like, what do you?
You
The
read
100 Years War on
Gaza
Palestine?
Writes Back, short stories by, who is this? Short stories by Rifat Al-Arir. You read that?
Rafat Al-Arir. It's
Okay.
actually just a bunch of short stories from children who live in Gaza,
Okay.
and he was murdered.
And that's
He
your
was
favorite?
targeted.
That's your favorite book?
He was targeted by the IDF. You're not
Okay.
doing yourself any favors, bro.
Okay.
Like, I don't know what. Like,
Spicy.
like,
I appreciate you coming up.
100 Years
We're
War
gonna
on
move on.
Palestine by Rashid
Okay.
Khalidi. Like,
Yeah,
what do you
yeah.
want?
Okay, hold on. We're gonna move on to another guest. Thank you
Like-
for coming up, Spicy. I appreciate your praises, but it's a little too much with the fact that you're just not able to actually answer the questions. Okay, but thank you for coming up, man. Appreciate you for being mostly respectful, although wrong.
Favorite
Appreciate
book
it.
is a book of short stories by kids that probably didn't write them themselves, that Hamas probably wrote them, or their parents or the adults probably wrote them. Let's be honest here. You've got an average IQ in Gaza of 67.9. There's not a lot of writing going on.
Okay. Let's move
Am I
on.
wrong? Is the average
Let's
IQ
move
in
on.
Gaza not 67.9?
I think from the study that I saw, that's what it said. So yeah, I think.
Do you
that-
think
that's
people
what
that
it
have a
is.
67.9 IQ are doing a lot of short story writing?
Who knows, man? Maybe for money. What's up, man? What do you have for us, new guest?
How's it going?
What's going on? Which topic would you like to debate?
Um,
You've been waiting in the request for a bit, so I'm hoping you're not a troll. That'd be disappointing.
I want to talk about why you're picking these topics. That's the topic I want to debate. Let's debate the topics and why.
You want to debate? Wait, that's not even. How is that a debate? That's not a debate. That's you just being curious
How
on
isn't
why I pick
that?
the topics.
I'm saying let's debate the reason for the topics.
Okay, yeah. So I've been having topics similar to this for like over a year and a half. And the reason why is because I've done research on these topics and I find them very interesting. I think foreign policy, leftism, things in reference to DEI and racial politics in America is something that I'm actually passionate about. You know, I like having polemical conversations. I'm a polemicist. And so I think that these are pretty like interesting, endearing topics to debate people about. That's why I have the topics that I do.
Nice. So let's talk about, do you remember, well, you may remember, but both of us weren't alive the last time these topics were really made mainstream in society's public discourse. The last time these types of
DEI?
topics came up were like World War I, World War II.
DEI came up in World
and
War One.
It was cause a strife.
DEI was a thing in World War
yeah, in
One?
Germany.
DEI was a
Pretty
thing in
much,
World War
yeah.
One?
Like maybe it was a different thing then, but it was more along the lines of like purity. Now they're reframing it. It's actually what they do. They change the names. It's semantics. They play games.
You know, in the
word
World War
games.
One, we had
And
segregation.
they change the
right?
names of their organizations. They change the names of their organizations and the
Hey,
psyops every time they need to fleece an empire.
Hello, Dio.
I don't listen
we
to
had segregation.
registered sex offenders, brother. King,
Well,
whatever
we
your name
had-
is,
we
you're
had-
a registered
we had-
sex offender.
Great. We had.
You're a
we
registered
had-
sex offender. Shut up, bro. Don't talk to me.
Okay, whatever you say.
Don't talk to me.
You whatever you say.
Wait, do you guys
Whatever
know
you
each
say.
other?
You're a registered sex
I have
offender.
no idea who
Shut
this
up.
is. I have no idea who this is.
Yeah, he's a registered sex offender. He's a
Sure.
registered
Whatever you
sex
say.
offender.
What the
Whatever
hell
you
is
say.
even going on?
Whatever you
He's
say.
a registered
Whatever you
sex
say.
offender.
Whatever you say. Whatever you
Yeah.
say. dude.
You don't think
Whatever
I
you say.
remember you, Hammer? You
Yeah, I don't know who the
remember me,
fuck you are, what you're talking about, but there's obviously something mentally wrong with you. You're lucky I don't know your name, or you would have had a lawsuit in your fucking
and of
tomorrow.
course he's just like outside. He kind of gives me those vibes of like a guy that is sort of obviously cuckoo. You know, one of those like crazy like homeless guys that are cuckoo that know how everything really works and knows about the deep state and knows about the international corporations that are behind really everything. He seems like one of those guys. You know, those crazy sort of older
Who go to sleep
homeless
at
guys.
night wrapped in tinfoil so they can keep the aliens and the fucking secret agents away from them. Those kind of people.
Yeah, those kind of people. Tinfoil hat type of people. And
By the
it's
way,
crazy,
who knew there was DEI during World War I? During segregation and Jim Crow, all that DEI.
Yeah, that's when DEI existed. Surely. Oh my
goodness. Yeah.
It's funny how so many people.
That's how we got Martin Luther King. DEI. Of course.
It's funny how so many people know you and you don't even know who they are. They're like, I just came up here and he's like, Hammer, I know who you are. It's like, who even is he?
No, what happened was, I'll tell you the story. What happened was I was embarrassing that entire Arab, Palestinian, Muslim community so badly pre 10/7 that one of those scumbags over there started a rumor that I was a registered sex offender and I'd been arrested. Now, they couldn't make up the story correctly. And I've asked them multiple times to show it on live, because if I'm registered, public information, wouldn't be doxing. Go ahead and show it. But they all believe it because they're lunatics. These are the same people that believe Mossad is in their phone, altering their conversations and blah, 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 blah. Obviously, none of it's true. It's bullshit. But when you can't beat them, you have to, slime them.
Yeah, I call it, I've said this before, it's Operation Make Stuff Up. That's all it is, Operation Make Stuff Up. No, because this is what they do during the debates. It's like they create new things. It's like, well, these random 4 men that were walking in New York City, or 5 men, or whatever the hell it is, they were the Mossad agents. Or this lady that looked
bring him
at
back
me
up.
weird.
He's going to show it. He says he's going to show it. Bring him back up.
Wait,
bring it back up.
What's his name?
Come on, show it. Show everybody.
He's not even in the request right now.
Oh, okay.
It's like if someone looks at you for too long at Starbucks, they must be a Mossad agent as well. And don't forget about the maroon shirt, beekeeping Mormon, French intelligence, Egyptian airplanes that supposedly killed Charlie Kirk. Don't forget about all that nonsense as well to add on to that. Okay, let's bring this guy up again.
Show it.
So have
show
you?
It. Show it. Show it. You don't get to talk.
Yet?
No, show it.
You know what sucks right now? I would
it.
love for the YouTube chat to be able to see him, because Hammer and this guy have their camera ons right now. But if you're on YouTube,
turn it on.
Top is getting turned on. Shut the fuck up,
you don't get to talk until you show it.
Hold on, Dio, I have a question.
Shut up, you rapist.
Hold on, Dio. Okay, hold on, guys. Try to calm down for a second. Dio, you try to relax as well. I'm trying to mediate this. Dio, I'm trying to mediate this.
All right.
Where are you? Where are you? Yeah, you're muted right now. Let me get an answer from him. Don't mute him. Where are you, Dio? You're talking while you're muted.
Stop muting me, you fucking.
Okay. Yeah, where are you? Where are you right now?
Right now, I am developing an off-grid property for a friend.
What?
I live in a 2,700 square foot house on 10 acres in Boulder County, Colorado. Would you like to keep talking shit and using ad hominems, you fucking douchebags? Or would you like to have a conversation about facts?
There was no ad hom. He asked you a question.
I just asked you a question.
Show the stuff.
I answered the fucking question, you dumb fuck. I wasn't talking to you, you fucking rapist.
Show it. Just show it.
You're a fucking pedophile. Shut up.
Show it. Show it.
You exposed yourself in public.
Show it. You don't get to talk anymore. No more talking. Just show it.
Okay, how about this? We're going to give you a whopping 30 seconds to show whatever evidence. Okay. We're going to give you about 30.
I'm connecting to Starlink right now. All right. Getting this.
Great. You don't need to talk to do that. You don't need to talk to do that. You don't need.
Connecting right now.
Good. Go.
What is going on, dude? By the way, you got to
Go. Just show it.
You have to drop him because you got a restriction. If you have an alt account, please join on it. What the fuck is going on, man? Like we have a random homeless dude who's like building what did he say he was building? An off-grid project?
An off-grid property for a friend.
Yeah, off-grid property for a friend. Another way of saying I'm homeless, and I'm again nothing against homeless people, but like, dude, you're homeless. Like, yeah, stop trying to lie about that. And you have that sort of homeless guy accent as well. Like, I don't even know what's going on with the guy.
Did you see how sunken in his cheeks were? Like someone that's going through malnutrition.
Okay.
Not eating enough. This is what happens when you eat out of trash cans. You don't get enough nutrients, enough protein.
Well, if that actually is the case, I don't know what he's doing arguing with people on TikTok Live, wasting more of his energy that he should be preserving right now. Yeah, that guy has to be homeless. There's no way that is or should I say, housed individual. I have to adhere to the leftist wording here. I don't believe he's a housed individual. Okay. Nothing against homeless people. It's just like, get your priorities straight, man. If I was homeless, the last thing I would be doing is on TikTok Live arguing with Hammer and making random accusations against him. Yeah, unhoused. He is an unhoused individual. Okay, let's move on to someone else. The next person that's going to come up, please be normal. Please be capable of making an argument, and also please be a Homo sapien, because we've had a few Homo erectuses. We've had a Homo Neanderthal here. We've had a Homo habilis. Like, we're only dealing with Homo sapiens now, just so that we can have conversations with people that actually make some sense. So if you're gonna come up here, there's a guy that's been waiting for a bit. Please be a Homo sapien. Let's hope for it. Okay.
What's up?
What's going on, man? Are you a Homo sapien?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's 2026. I get kind of confused nowadays how you can be. Because back in my day, we was too busy chopping off Cadillac converters instead of our penises, but I digress.
Say what?
I had a question, though.
Let's just skip that. You've been listening
What
for
do
a
you
bit. And I've
mean?
also seen.
What do you mean? Yeah, I mean, I said back in my day, we were too busy cutting off Cadillac converters and our penises like they are today.
Oh, not like that.
Yeah,
not cutting off
not like
penises.
them.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's just.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck, I ain't
Okay.
chopping off my shit. Fuck
No,
that.
no, it didn't sound like that, dude.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I got it. Okay. Yeah, what question would you like to ask in reference to the topics?
Well, it's not reference to the topics. It's off script because I get tired of listening to the left talk shit about our military, how we're losing to Iran, this and that. But would you say there's a correlation between USAID being abolished and a DNC being bankrupt now?
Is there a correlation? Undoubtedly. I mean, the DNC is bankrupt. There was a recent article. I mean, Hammer, you also keep up on all the articles. I mean, they are in debt. The DNC is in debt.
Right, they're not bankrupt.
Struggling.
They're in debt. There's difference.
Sorry, they're in debt.
Yeah, the
Okay,
DNC, they're not bankrupt. I get the hyperbole.
They're going to be out of debt.
Yeah.
I mean, they're taking out a loan.
Right. Yeah.
Oh,
And they're currently in
okay,
debt. They're
my
struggling with
bad,
money. And yeah, there surely is a correlation there. Not causation, but correlation, of course.
Yeah, but I mean, how you go from raising $1 billion in 150 days to being in so much in debt?
Well, no, that's the irony, is that these people are claiming to know how to solve the problems of our economy when they can't even balance their own checkbook. Is irony dripping in irony, soaked in irony, marinated in irony. So it's not that they don't raise money, even though their fundraising is down. They are raising money. They're just spending more than they're raising.
Yeah, but is it more of an irony that the same party, I think Charlie Kirk even said, and I've seen the statistic, that 8 of the 10 1%ers vote Democratic, but yes, the same party who wants to tax the rich, they have to pay their fair wages and taxes too? Which I think is extremely insane because they make up, 50% of the federal budget today?
Yeah, hypocrisy is just what is common with the Democrats and the left. I don't know what you want me to say.
Well, I just don't get them these days. Like, I mean, from Obama to now, like, the whole party just flipped. I don't get it.
Yeah.
At least Obama is like, yeah, if you came here illegally, we will deport you. We will find you and get you out of here. You go back to the end of the line. I remember vividly Hillary Clinton's like, I'm going to attack Iran, this and that. But like now it's like, oh, we pro Iran. Like we support Iran and what they're doing.
Deporter in chief. It's funny because we went from deporter in chief. If you guys don't know this fun story, by the way, Tom Homan was originally appointed by Obama to be a border czar. And Obama actually awarded Tom Homan with some sort of an award. I forget the exact name for how effective he was at doing his job. But it's funny how we went from a Democrat that deported so many people and was a deporter in chief to someone who is going to be elected at the federal level, Daria Elisa Chevalier, who believes that even if someone committed the crime of rape, that they shouldn't be deported at all, which is like a pretty big jump, right? Like that's a pretty big jump from, deport people that are here illegally and certainly deport the criminals and people committing crime and people that are not working or whatever it is. But even if someone rapes someone, we're not going to deport them because deporting people is imperialism or white supremacy or whatever. But yeah, dude, I'm not even worried about the Democratic Party anymore. I'm more worried about the DSA and the far left because they are actually the ones sort of gaining ground and momentum within the Democratic Party. And so that's what they have to worry about. And yeah, they believe in abolishing police, abolishing ICE. They want to put an end to so-called U.S. imperialism, whatever that even means, and they also want to free Palestine, whatever that means, which they won't obviously be able to articulate. Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't. Like, I think I know what that means, but they're gonna obviously sort of lie and be deceptive.
So where exactly is Palestine again?
In actuality, it's not a place that actually exists. Now,
that's what I'm saying. Like, how are you gonna free something that?
It's not a real place. I'm going to be totally honest with you. It really isn't a real place. There's no official country called Palestine. It's essentially Narnia. But it's a way to just sort of like, hey, we're aligned with oppressed non-white peoples. That's the sort of game. Anyway, dude, I appreciate you coming up. Thank you.
Of course, yeah.
Thank you. Alrighty, and that was that guy. By the way, if you disagree with any of the prompts and you are over on YouTube, if you're on YouTube, you can press a link to join the show from Discord. And if you are on TikTok, you can obviously hit the guest request button to come up here and ask a question or debate a particular topic. Hold on, let me mute Hammer because there's like noise coming out of his microphone. Pharaoh says Palestinians are white. I don't think so. I mean, Arabs are not white, generally speaking. Trump supporters are traitors to the USA. Okay, sure, buddy. Hey, Slapdash, do you want to come up here? Should we invite you, Slapdash? Hold on, let me invite this person because he seems to have that sort of energy. Where are you, Slapdash? Let me find you in as I'm scrolling through TikTok. Let me see if I can find you. Let's see. I don't even see you, dude. Interesting. You're talking a lot, but I don't see where you're at, man. And by the way, Hammer, you're muted. I muted you because you were making some background noise earlier. It's funny how they say prior to 1948. What about, like, during the Kingdom of Israel? What about under the Hasmonean dynasty? What about during the Roman times? Like, and by the way, even maps prior to 1948 said Israel or said Judea. And Palestina is obviously a colonial European term, but you guys know that. I don't know why we're pretending you don't, right? Like, you guys aren't, like, bright, but you guys at least know that as a fact. This Kuma guy in the YouTube chat has to be one of the lowest IQ people ever, saying that you don't even know what Ottoman is. Like, dude, please get your grammar correctly if you're going to say something. Like, your grammar doesn't even make any sense. Soros elites, Democrats want to turn USA into UK as grooming radicals for elections. Yep. Does Somaliland exist? It does exist. It is a real place. You can go to Somaliland.
I'm the king. I'm the king of Somaliland.
Yeah, King Hebrew Hammer is the king of Somaliland. Of course it exists.
You got that right. That's my kingdom.
His grammar is Palestinian. Wait, are these two guys, like, debating themselves in the... I don't even know what they're doing. Are they debating themselves in the YouTube chat? Or, like, what the hell is even going on with them? I don't even know. Is there al Abid in Palestine? That's a good one. Human Shield? Haven't we dealt with this Human Shield guy before, Hammer? Does he ever make good points? Or is he just, like, one of those people that just sort of whine? Is he one of those people that just, like, whine? Or is he an actual debater? Let's give him a few seconds, but... Pro-Pally debaters never tend to be the best, but... Hello?
How are you?
I don't remember most of these people.
Oh, he's there. What's going on, man? Do you,
Good.
Mm-hmm.
I want to remind you and remind King Hebrew that you guys are losing. APAC is losing. Every day, every month, every hour, every week, every year.
Then why do you guys keep complaining?
Complaining?
If you guys are winning so much. If you guys are winning and APAC is losing, then why are you complaining so much?
Great. I don't like APAC.
But
I don't like
APAC. No, forget whether or not you like it or don't. Hold on. Forget whether you like it or not. Hold on for a second. Forget whether you like it or not. If you guys are winning and APAC is losing, Then congratulations, but why are you complaining so much about it then?
Yeah, because we want to free our country from the Zionist control.
Hold on. What do you mean our country?
How is AIPAC falling gonna?
Oh,
How
yeah.
is AIPAC doing badly gonna do that?
Yeah, AIPAC is the lobby that control the politicians in the United States.
You're not answering his question though. How would
What does that have to do with Palestinians getting a
how?
state?
How? It's very simple. Very simple. They provide
Our
them
country.
with media.
We need to free our country. Okay, sure. Go on, sir. Sorry.
Yeah,
Is this
AIPAC
Borat?
provide them with money. They
Is this
provide them with media. Are you guys listening or no?
No, we're listening, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. You said how AIPAC
Not
control.
really.
You said how AIPAC control our government, right? That's your question.
No, that wasn't the question.
No, that's not the question.
What was your question? Go ahead.
Okay, he asked, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, Hammer. This may not be verbatim, but how would getting rid of AIPAC actually just generally improve the lives of everyday Americans?
Yeah, because the taxes of American people is going to the foreign country, like $10 million every day.
Like Egypt?
Besides, I'm not finished.
Like
I'm not
Jordan?
finished. Please.
Like Nigeria?
I'm not finished.
Like Ukraine? Okay,
Please.
yeah.
Yes. Besides the
How does
wall
AIPAC
that-
doing
Oh my
badly
God,
lead to a
what the-
Palestinian state?
What's wrong with those people? Those people, they don't allow the other people to speak. They always interrupt them.
Go ahead, sir.
If I'm saying something wrong, correct me after I finish, please. We are involved.
I
in the
asked you a
Middle East.
question.
Oh my God. Hebrew, I think we have a bad connection.
This guy.
He's
That's
saying you have a bad
possible,
connection.
but I asked you a question. Can you just answer it for me? Okay, hold on.
What the hell? Okay. Human Shield. You're an American, correct?
Yes, sir.
What state do you live in, if you don't mind?
Oklahoma.
Okay. What
Where
are
you?
the
What
three?
state you live?
Florida. What are the
Oh,
three
nice.
branches of American government?
The three branches of American government. Honestly,
Right.
I don't know. It's like you
What?
asking
Okay,
me
since you're an American, what year was the Declaration of Independence?
I don't know. Those questions, I don't know.
Wait.
I wanna free
Wait.
the American government from the Zionist
Hold on for a second, brother. You came up here trying to tell us about a lobbying group in America and how you're American and how you want the
you
best
don't
for
know that?
Americans.
You don't know that?
Hold,
You don't know
brother, hold on. How we're all American and we need to free America, but you don't know the three branches of
Absolutely,
government. You
yes.
don't know the
AIPAC.
year of America's Declaration of Independence, but you're going to deal with AIPAC? You're going to deal with AIPAC, but you don't know.
1776?
Yeah, because someone said it in the chat, man.
No, I swear to God, no. I swear to God, no.
You literally
I swear
know.
to God,
When
no.
I first asked you the question, you said, I don't
Hey,
know.
listen, what time Abraham Lincoln was born?
Okay, hold on. You said, I don't
Answer
know.
my question. What time Abraham
Okay,
Lincoln was
okay.
born?
Oh my
And you deviating
What
to
is
different
wrong with this
fields.
guy? Okay,
changing the
okay.
subject,
I
by
don't
the
think
way.
you
You're
understand,
changing-
brother.
So there was,
I don't think. Hold on, Hammer. Hold on, Hammer. I don't think that a guy that can't deal with a.
You're changing.
Okay. I don't think that a guy that doesn't know the year or didn't know the year of the Declaration of Independence or doesn't know the three branches of government is going to be able to efficiently deal with a lobbying organization in America that he finds problematic. Call me crazy. Maybe I'm just crazy. Maybe I'm stupid. But I don't think you're the guy. And by the way, there's nothing really American about you. You don't sound American. You don't know the basic things about
I
America.
have citizenship.
Okay, well, that doesn't mean you're American, though. That doesn't mean you're American, though.
So it's not a piece of paper.
Obviously, it is just a piece of paper because it obviously doesn't mean you're American.
Oh,
Elon
so
Omar
300
Hold on, has
on.
an American passport. Doesn't mean she's an American. Plenty of people, dude. Let me tell you something. Plenty of people don't have an American passport, and they're more American than you are. Trust me on that. No, he is an American. Donald Trump knows the Declaration of Donald Trump knows the year of the Declaration of Independence.
The 310 million American must know the Declaration of Independence Day. Must, like it's a must. Otherwise,
Did you take this? Hold on. Yeah, did you take the citizenship test?
There's a holiday.
Bro, you changed
Did you take the citizenship test?
You changing
Matt,
the
there's
subject.
a holiday. Bro, we have a holiday
July
every year
4th.
to celebrate the signing of the Declaration of Independence. There's a holiday. You know, the one with all the fireworks? and the hot dogs and the
cares
beer.
about this. We care
Wait,
about
nobody
our
cares
politicians,
about
how
the
they-
celebration or the commemoration of the American Day of
We care
Independence?
about our politicians being controlled by the Zionists.
Who is we?
Oh, by the
Who
way,
are
today,
you,
Lindsey
sir?
Graham, today, Lindsey Graham, they're supposed to put the Israeli flag on his coffin. Did you see that?
Actually,
They're supposed
no.
to
I
put the
saw
Israeli flag
his
on
coffin.
because he's fucking traitor, like you.
Okay, you're actually.
Oh, well,
okay,
you
this
work
is
for.
actually. Okay, just calm down for a second, sir. You're gonna have like a heart attack like Cenk Uyghur. I saw his coffin, and it only had the American flag, no Israeli
They're
flag to be
supposed to
seen.
put Israeli flag.
Okay, brother, let me help you out.
you're
There's
talking
something.
about-
Okay, there's something called AI nowadays. You probably saw some guy make an AI image, but no, his casket was covered in the American flag because he was an American. Okay. Anyway, sir, let me ask you a question. Okay, let me ask you a
I
question.
said they're supposed to put Israeli flag. They're supposed to put Israeli flag on his coffin
What is a verb?
because he cared about Israel like you do more than the American people. Because
Okay,
Israel
okay.
control our
You're-
government.
The government.
Israel
Hold on.
behind the 9/11,
But Israel
and we are
control. Yeah,
involved
and
in the
Israel
Middle
killed
East
Julius
because of
Caesar.
Israel.
Israel killed
And
Julius
Israel is
Caesar.
our enemy,
Israel
it's
killed
not our
Alexander the
ally.
Great. Israel killed everybody, right? And they're responsible for
Israel is
everything
going
that's
to
ever
be
happened
our
ever.
enemy.
Right.
We're going to
Everything
free
that's ever
that.
happened
Hey,
ever. We
by
get
the way,
it.
The
Right.
Sharia
Let me
law
ask
is
you.
not working. Communism is not working. All the propaganda is not working. AIPAC is losing, and you guys going to witness
Can I ask
more
you a
than
question?
that.
They also
Are you
sunk the
gonna ask me
Titanic.
what day was Abraham Lincoln was?
No, I'm not going to
whatever?
ask you that. No, I won't ask you that. But I do have another
The
question
real
for you.
problem in America right now is
Yeah,
the
we know,
Israel,
sir. I
the
do have a question
the
for you.
Zionist.
Okay, I do have a question
Zionists.
for you. What are your thoughts, though? Because listen, you mentioned Israel doing this in X. Do you know what Israel? You know Israel killed Julius Caesar, correct? You're familiar with the story of Israel assassinating Julius Caesar?
Well, who cares about that? I care about our politicians.
No, but hold on. But do you agree?
What the fuck?
Hold, brother.
What
Do you
the
agree?
fuck?
Hold on.
I don't
do you
care
agree?
about what's happening in the Middle East. I care
Do you
what's
agree?
going on in our politicians.
Okay, hold on. Do you agree?
Are you
that
gonna take me to the Middle East now and Israel is innocent and terrorist and blah blah blah? No, bro, I don't care.
Okay.
I care about.
Brother, calm down for just a second. Give us a second here, okay? Do you agree
Who
that
control
Israel?
them? You understand?
Okay. 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 Who was the USCIS officer that gave this guy? Who gave this guy his citizenship? Revoke it
you the subject. Now we change.
Okay, hold on. Revoke it expeditiously. This guy is not an American. Revoke that citizenship expeditiously if possible, okay? Anyway, let's sign a petition for that to happen. That's ridiculous. Okay, you have to answer my question.
Are you
Try
changing the
answering.
subject? You're changing the subject.
Try-
You always do that. They always
Try-
do that. They always.
Brother, whoa.
Distracting us from Israel
Can
is
you-
not gonna work.
can
Sharia
you-
law is not working. All the propaganda is not
Can
working.
you
Bro, Israel is the real problem.
Can you
work for them,
calm-
you work for AIPAC, and you guys are losing.
I do work for AIPAC. That's true. What the hell is going on, man? Okay.
It's very funny, right?
Wait, hold on. Give me. Can you,
if you
can
want to
say?
take me to the Middle East, I have a question.
Okay.
Please.
Okay. Really. Hold on. What do you mean?
No,
take
my
me to the
question
Middle East?
first. My
Hold
question
on.
first.
Okay.
Tell me
Hold
why
on.
Israel. Tell me why Israel bombed.
Okay. Let me just read this. Sir, calm down for a second. Thank you, Jasmine, for the super chat over on YouTube. Matt, the way he just said Zionist needs to be clipped and used as a sound. Maybe I actually should clip it and use it as sound. Thank you for this suggestion, and also thank you for the super chat, Jasmine, over on YouTube. Okay, let's get back to this really quickly, okay?
No, I have a quick question before I forget.
Hold on.
Before I get kicked.
Hold
I have a question,
on.
please.
No, I'm not
come
going
on,
to kick
man.
you. I
Come
just
on,
want to
come
ask
on, Come on, be a real man now. Come on.
I'm not going to kick you. I just want
tell
you
me
to
why
calm.
Israel bombed the synagogue.
I don't want to kick you. I just want you to relax.
Okay, then answer my question. Answer my question.
I think it's
Okay,
kind of,
just try
hold on, I haven't said
relaxing.
anything.
Very, very, very quick question.
I haven't said anything in a while. I think when you have a voice like Mickey Mouse, calling someone else not being a man is a little silly, okay? You sound like Mickey Mouse, and Matt sounds like a man. So don't question his manhood. Maybe one day your balls will drop
Because
and
he
you have
doesn't
a
have
real
an
man
answer.
voice.
He doesn't have an answer.
AIPAC, the Zionists.
Can you tell me why
You sound like Mickey Mouse. You sound like Mickey Mouse.
Okay, Sir,
Are
human
you done?
shield.
Are you done?
Okay, hold on. Pretend that I'm holding your hands.
My question.
Okay, sir, please, whatever you do, don't blow up. But just for a second. Oh, there you get. Okay, just calm down for just a second. Give us a breather. Give us a moment. Relax. Okay? And don't blow up. Whatever you do, do not blow up. Do not blow up. Just calm down. I just have one question for you.
Are you scared, bro? You scared?
Listen, I don't want to kick you, but I think the reason...
You are scared.
I don't want to kick you, but I think the reason... Okay. I don't want to kick you, but I think the reason why people kick you is because you don't let them ask one question. Listen, I will answer whatever question you have next. I want you to answer one very simple question that I've been trying to ask you for 10 minutes, and it's not a hard, complicated question. Are you ready? Nope, has nothing to do with you. Are you ready for it?
Let's see.
What are your thoughts on Candace Owens, or not on Candace Owens, what are your thoughts on Israel killing Julius Caesar in Rome? What are your thoughts on that? It recently just happened. What are your thoughts?
I never heard about this. Israel killed who?
Julius Caesar 2 days ago in Rome, in the Roman Senate.
No, I never heard about this.
But
no, I'm sorry. But hold on.
What are your thoughts? Hold on. What are your thoughts though? I just told you about it. What are your thoughts on Israel killing Julius Caesar 2 days ago in Rome?
Well, if Israel they always do assassinations.
So you're not shocked. You're not shocked about Israel killing Julius Caesar 2 days ago in Rome. You're not shocked about that.
No, like shocked. What do you mean by shocked?
Are you surprised? You have to hold on. Let me make it easier. Hold on.
Israel, they kill journalists in live television.
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Are you okay.
Like Shireen Abu Akleh before October 7th, they killed her on live television with a sniper.
Are you shocked? Why? Hold on, sir. Are you shocked?
I'm not shocked. I'm not.
I just want to hold it. Remember, relax. Hold on. Don't calm. Relax for just a moment. Are you shocked that Israel killed Julius Caesar in Rome 2 days ago? Just recently happened.
No, I just told you I'm not shocked. No,
okay. What do you think about that specific incident, though, happening?
I think it's normal for the Mossad, for the Israel to do live assassination. That's normal to them.
Sir,
they did bigger than that.
Sir, Julius Caesar. Sir, hold on. Julius Caesar. No. Julius Caesar died in 40. Well, the issue is that Julius Caesar died in 44 BC. Julius Caesar died in 44 BC. What are you talking about? 2 days ago in Rome. He died in 44 BC.
Okay. So you gave me like an imaginary problem and you're saying, oh, look, Israel did that. Israel bombed a synagogue in Iran.
Did you not know who Julius... Okay, holy fuck. Did you not know who Julius Caesar was?
I don't really care. I don't care. Oh, Caesar, Julius Caesar, the King Caesar.
He does sound like Mickey Mouse. Don't tell me I'm wrong. Listen to that. I don't care. I can't even go that high.
So, Matt,
my voice doesn't even go that high.
Matt, what you did right now is like you gave me a BS and you say, what do you think about this BS? Right? Okay, now my question, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you scared?
Yeah.
You're scared?
Yeah.
Okay. In the last 2 months, Israel bombed a synagogue in Iran. Why they did that?
Okay, hold on. Let me just really quickly
Let me
answer
repeat the question. Oh. Are you ready? Israel bombed a synagogue and killed some Jews in Iran. Why?
Okay. One, there was no reports of Israel killing any Jews in Iran.
From Fox News?
I'm giving you I'm giving you a response.
Get the fuck out, bro. Get the fuck out.
I'm trying to give you I know the incident that you're talking about. Okay. You asked me a question. Try letting me. Okay.
Go ahead. He doesn't have an answer. He doesn't know why.
Are you a homo sapien?
Because they are terrorists, bro.
Okay, let me answer your question.
The source
so
where
Israel,
we can look it up and read it.
Yeah. Really quickly,
can you tell us the source? I want to read about this. I'm interested.
He doesn't know.
This
you
is
can just look it up.
news.
He doesn't.
I'm very against this.
Okay, he's not going to give you a source.
This.
I mean,
can
come
I read
on,
about it?
Hammer. This guy's not even a homo sapien. He's not going to give you any sources. I mean, come on. Right. Anyway, So I think the incident you're talking about, there was a synagogue that was damaged, not directly targeted, but damaged during the Israeli strikes on Iran. Everyone knows that Israel's the Jewish state that is obviously not against Jews themselves. So yeah, that would have been a collateral damage, obviously, in war, which happens, right? It's horrible that it happened, but it happens, right? But the fact that you know Israel is the Jewish state already kind of tells you that it obviously was not intentional, that they were trying to target Jews already in Iran, right? Because why would the Jewish state do that? So yeah, it was an unfortunate event of collateral damage in war, but I never heard of any Jew dying because of the incident. That's bad. Now let me ask you a question. Do you think that Hamas launching the second largest terrorist attack in the 21st century and kidnapping babies and strangling them and shooting 365 people to death at a music festival, do you think that was bad? Come back to TikTok. Don't leave. Do you think that was bad? Would you mind coming back and trying to answer this question? Hello? Hello? Okay, now he's just not here. Now he's just not here. Okay, let's move on to the next person, okay? He's smashing falafels. There are some Jews in Iran, actually. Yes, guys, believe it or not, there are some Jews still in Iran.
10,000.
Yeah, there are still some. Okay, let's move on to the next person. I think I've had this guy up here before, but it's really kind of slow with him. But all right. What's going on, Shaban?
Oh, hey, what's up, Matt?
What's going on, man? I think we've already had discussions about, like, what, the Middle Eastern sort of aspect of things and your view on Palestinians in Gaza. But what do you have for us today?
Yeah, I think more specifically it was your, I believe it was a few months ago. I think it was your take on Muslims in America.
Okay, what was the
And
take?
how they're, if I remember correctly, I don't want to speak for you. You probably remember better than I do because you were the one actually debating it. But it was something to the effect of like Muslims aren't good for America.
I mean, I don't think that Well, I mean, it's not that.
Me.
Yeah, I don't think that mass Islamic migration is beneficial for American society. That is my position personally. Yeah.
Well, I agree with your position, actually. I don't know if that was the same position. But anyway, I'm not here for that. I'm actually here just because I'm bored. I was swiping on TikTok, but I don't think the Iran war is just, and I genuinely would like to hear your arguments or thoughts as to why you believe it's just.
I mean, yeah.
I'm not so interested in. I apologize. I don't mean to cut you off. There may be a delay. I don't care so much about the leftism or DEI stuff, but the Iran war being just is. I'm interested to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, so obviously, I mean, I've reiterated this plenty of times. The IRGC specifically has been an enemy of America since their inception. Since 1979, kidnapping 66 Americans and holding them hostage for over 400 days, storming the U.S. Embassy, killing over 240 Americans in Beirut in 1983 by arming and giving intelligence to Hezbollah to conduct it during the Beirut barracks bombing. Which a federal judge was able to prove or give evidence to the fact that it was actually the IRGC, and funding 3 terrorist organizations in the Middle East that subsequently helped destabilize it and start conflicts that are completely unnecessary and unwanted, causing economic disruption. Like, there's so many different variables there. Obviously, the sort of goal of obtaining nuclear weapons, having the largest missile stockpile in the Middle East, I think all of those are threats, and that's on top of the fact that they've generally just been saying they want to destroy America and destroy the West and destroy Israel. I think that we need to deal with nations that threaten us and are so blatant about it.
Okay, I see. Now, when you mentioned a lot of points, I agree that some of them are strong, but are you following some sort of moral framework to justify it, or just shooting off a bunch of examples and saying, yeah, that to me sounds reasonable?
Not just like a bunch of, like, not like necessarily a moral standard. I think this is more of like a realpolitik sort of perspective. If you have a country that is allied with Russia and China, that also has significant military capability, that funds 3 terrorist organizations and spends $16 billion doing so every single year, destabilizing the Middle East, and propping up terrorism there. And they've also specifically tried and have killed American troops. And they've been trying to build a nuclear weapon. You try to prevent them from building a nuclear weapon, make sure they can never have one. And you also deplete all of their other militaristic capabilities there. Because that country openly calls for your destruction.
It's a moral thing, because ridding the world, or at least weakening to the point of becoming less of a threat, religious theocrats who believe their God is telling them to kill all the infidels to bring about the 12th Imam so that the apocalypse and the end times can happen. Yes, I think it is moral to rid the world of people who think like that.
Right.
That is moral.
That too.
Okay. I see.
And we are already at war with Iran. You understand, they declared war on us in 1979. They never rescinded the declaration of war. They've been in a state of war with us for 48 years.
Does our government recognize that?
You don't have to recognize it. They recognize it. They are at war with us. So we have two options at that point. Don't go to war with them, or go to war with them. I believe if another country declares war on you, you have a moral responsibility to destroy them to eliminate the threat. I mean, total destruction. Hiroshima, Nagasaki level destruction.
Well, I understand that, but what I'm saying is, do we, as a country, the United States, recognize that they're at war with us? There's a standard we must.
There's no such thing. There's no such thing as recognizing a country. They declared war.
Okay.
Period. That's it. That is a fact.
Okay. They declared war. How does our military recognize that they've declared war? Did our military recognize that they have declared war on us since the 79, did you say?
Yes.
I just looked it up. I didn't see an official declaration of war, but of course, like, that's when hostilities really started against the U.S. government, when they kidnapped, it says, 52 Americans, more specifically, for over 444 days.
Is
storming the U.S.
attacking an embassy a declaration of war, a war act?
I would say so.
Of course it is.
I would say so, but again, okay, so let's just assume we did recognize Iran being at war with us, officially at war with us, however you want to word it. I don't want to get into the semantics of the words I'm using here, but was our defense on high alert that Iran is at war with us since 1979? If so, that's fine. If not, that's fine too. But I don't think countries are allowed to attack other countries whenever they want. That's isn't that like terrorism?
What do you mean allowed? Allowed by whom?
International law. It's a very simple rule.
International
countries are not
law.
allowed to attack other countries whenever they want.
Who cares?
I mean, I don't know. That rule was created after World War II.
Who cares? Why do you care about international law? What does that matter?
I think the world recognizes that. It came into effect after World War II.
Do the people who constantly violate international law, do they recognize it? Because they're violating it all the time. For example, funding terror groups, launching missiles at neighboring Arab countries that have nothing to do with the war, blocking off the Strait of Hormuz, an international waterway, and threatening to charge tolls. Do you think Iran cares about international law?
Good point.
Well, King, just to center it back on this idea of a just war, if we are
that's a moral qualifier, not a legal qualifier.
Let's center it back on the morality. If this war is just, then we must go back to after World War II, where we said, look, if every nation could just attack another whenever it thought it was a good idea, there would be endless wars.
You're making things reductive. Hold on for a second. You're making things reductive. One, I don't think that the whole concept of international law, I think, is pretty bogus. I think, actually, let me help it out. Let me try to phrase it in a better way. I think the concept may sound great for people, like, oh, we have these international principles that people are going to follow. The issue with international law is it doesn't actually apply to large countries with large militaristic capabilities and significant influence. When you see coalitions form that is supposedly under the UN,
it particularly does.
No, it doesn't. Name a single prominent Western leader of a prominent country that has had an ICC warrant out for them that has been enforced. Name a single one. Putin went to Mongolia. They're an ICC signatory country, and they didn't arrest Putin. What happened with that?
That's not the point. Saying international law does not apply to powerful nations is.
It doesn't apply because a law
you need an enforcement mechanism.
A law without enforcement is words on a paper.
Right, exactly. Like for example, no, hold on. No. For example, no. I don't think you understand. This is let me make it simpler for you. Law and enforcement. Hold on.
Please.
Law. No. Hold on for a second. Law and enforcement.
Okay, but I'm going to respond with an example.
Okay, that's totally fine.
Then I'll answer the question.
Totally fine. Law and enforcement work hand to hand. Okay, so you can have a judge, you can have prosecutors, you can have a defense, you can have all of those people that want to talk and make arguments and write stuff and all of those different things and write state statutes and federal statutes and all of those things. That is totally fine, right? But none of those things matter unless you have local, state, and federal officials willing to actually enforce the law. Whether you have gang units to actually deal with gang crime, or whether if you have an international criminal court, they don't have an international criminal police. What they have is countries that voluntarily decide we will arrest him, we will participate, or we won't arrest him, we won't participate. That's how that sort of stuff works. And so I'm giving you a more realist Kissinger perspective, which is that powerful countries that work together can decide together whether or not they want to form coalitions to go against certain countries or deal with certain things. But this idea that there is just international law that everyone recognizes, that everyone abides by, is bogus. And the IRGC, you would agree with me, does not abide by international law in any sort of capacity whatsoever. I don't think international law allows you to block the Strait of Hormuz or make it semi-permeable, or put naval mines, for example, in the water, or, for example, support 3 different terrorist organizations in the Middle East that destabilize it and start wars, right? Or give military intelligence to kill 240 Americans in 1983 in Beirut, or participate in the bombing, I believe, in Buenos Aires, I believe, that killed, I don't know how many Jews in that terrorist attack. International law does not, let you do any of those things, right? And so if they can do those things offensively without abiding to international law, and there's, nothing that anyone else wants to do because, to be honest with you, they're too much of vaginas to do so, then yeah, we should be able to go in without having to hear the UN whine in our mouths about how, well, you didn't get power from us that was delegated to you for you to do this. Who cares? We are the world police. Indeed, we can dictate what does and doesn't happen. If anyone wants to stop us, please do, because no one was stopping Iran. No one stopped Iran, right?
Okay, well, yeah, I agree.
And so we jumped in.
I agree with what you're saying if you're to take the Henry Kissinger realpolitik perspective. That's fair. But if we're going to use something like international law, where you have to have reasons to attack another country, I'd like to discuss those reasons. But it sounds like that's out the window.
We gave out reasons. We gave reasons.
Hang on. Because
we gave reasons. You just may not agree with them. Wait, but we gave reasons.
Respectfully, I listen.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Reasons, though.
No, let's let him finish, but we did give him reasons. Go on.
Sure. I'll continue to listen. Not to argue you off your position, to make sure mine is heard, simply.
You won't argue me off, man. That's okay.
So my thing is if we're not going to follow international law and say that, look, if another country attacks you, you have the right to defend yourself, or something like that, then what are we applying? And then should we be upset at another country for applying their own such standards of what they consider realpolitik, which may be Sharia law? Then we can't, right?
No, let them do that. No, let them do that.
Policy. Wait.
Yeah, Sharia law is not foreign policy.
Has to do with foreign policy. Sharia law is internal domestic governance. It's not the same thing at all.
And by the way, I'm a geopolitical realist. Do you think America care? We have to wrap up the stream because it's hitting the 2-hour mark pretty soon. By the way, Z Justice, thank you for all the gifts on TikTok. Just so people can really understand what we're talking about here. I don't care that there's Sharia law in Afghanistan. I think it's negative. I think the women don't like it, right? I think it's a exhausting and pathetic way to live, to have women dressed up as beekeepers, right? But they can have that in their country if they want. I'm not saying Saudi Arabia. I'm going to be. Hold on. I don't care. I don't care that Saudi Arabia is a monarchy. It can remain a monarchy for as long as they want, right? As long as we have good economic cooperation and we have bilateral investment and we can sell weapons to them and make money. The American manufacturing companies are doing well and Americans are doing well and they're making money. That's totally fine with me. People can culturally exist as they are as long as they're not geopolitically negatively affecting us. If we're going to talk about importing those people, that's a conversation about immigration and vetting, and that's a separate conversation, right? Sharia law is not foreign policy. That is domestic policy. When people are talking about being afraid of Sharia law, they're talking about... Actually, no. When we're talking about Sharia law, we're talking about should we import people that agree with Sharia law that domestically erode the current institutions and erect a separate one. That's what we're talking about when we're afraid of Sharia law.
I commend you on your elastic thinking and applying of rules. It's
that's totally
impressive.
fine. But this idea, sure, but this idea that there's this sort of concept of like, okay, we universally agree with what is casus belli, like what dictates an act of war. No one's going to ever universally agree to that, and countries are too powerful. Do you think Putin cares he has a warrant out for him? Do you think he's like, oh, the ICC has a warrant out for me? No, he doesn't care because his country is not Zimbabwe.
That's why we have international courts.
Okay, let me ask you. Hold on.
We don't recognize it, though.
We don't even have to. We don't have to play that game because guess what? We have the ICC, right? They issued arrest warrants for Putin. For transporting Ukrainian children into Russia and giving them Russian parents, correct?
I take your word for it. Go on.
Okay, sure. Is Mongolia a country that is a signatory to the ICC?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Did Putin travel to Mongolia even after those arrest warrants were put out and nothing happened to him?
You're arguing for the other arm of this, which is the enforcement of laws. That's saying I'm allowed to...
Laws are nothing if they're not enforceable, man.
Matt, if that's like saying I'm allowed to speed unless there's a police officer behind me.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true, and it's not just speeding. It's speeding, and
you're not allowed to break the laws.
It's not just speeding. It's not just speeding. It's speeding. Then a punishment, a consequence, a fine, having to go to that stupid driving class, whatever.
Or being caught by like a camera.
What would happen? The law is independent. If you were speeding and the cop pulled you over,
King, you know this very well. You probably know some lawyers.
No.
The law is the law.
Listen to my scenario.
The enforcement of the law depends on resources given.
Why don't you listen to my scenario first?
Oh, I will.
Cop pulls you over. Hey, sir, you were going 75 in a 45. I'm sorry, officer. I guess I was speeding. Yeah, you were, but I don't give a shit. Go ahead. I'm not writing you a ticket. Do you think you would stop speeding?
What does that have to do with it?
Because that's the enforcement part of it. That's the enforcement part.
If you're asking us whether if you're asking us whether we think Putin's if you're asking us whether we think Putin's like actions are ethical, of course we don't. We think it's disgraceful. We think it's evil. But we have to.
I never said that.
I believe the perspective. Well, this is the thing. We have to stop infantilizing geopolitics and trying to act as if we are liberal white women with blue hair.
No, you're moving the goalpost from my argument.
No, I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm just saying that like the way you're trying to talk about geopolitics, it's like you're trying to animate it. You're trying to baby it.
No, I'm not.
It's not this whole baby thing where it's like, well, you shouldn't do it even if no one's going to catch you or no one's going to enforce you. We get that. But guess what? Putin doesn't really give a shit. Right? Khomeini, when he was alive, he didn't really give a shit if you were going to call him evil or bad or because he said he doesn't care.
What does that have to do with what I said?
Because we're not in a lesbian
I'm not
poetry
your average
class.
low IQ, 79 IQ person up here, by the way.
No, the point is that a law is simply words on a paper. That's all it is.
Yeah, exactly.
It is against the law to, let's you and I write a law together. It is against the law to spit on the sidewalk. Okay?
Sure.
You've just written a law.
Sure.
Okay? It is now against the law. I walk down the street, I spit on the sidewalk.
Sure.
If no one is willing to enforce that law, it's not really a law. It's just words. Enforcement is part of the law. You can make anything you want against the law. If you're not willing to enforce it, then it doesn't matter.
That's what materially. I'm not saying ethics don't matter, but I'm saying that you have to be able to enforce things on a geopolitical level.
Ethics.
And if you can't,
yes, I agree.
But this is the thing. We can't look at it from a lesbian poetry perspective where it's just ethics, right? The way that we and the reason why I say this is because these are real countries, real people, real religions. Right? Countries aren't machines. They're living things. They're institutions held together from centuries of, or even millennia, maybe a millennia of culture, traditions and customs. If you actually want to materially change things, you can't just do, well, Putin is doing this evil thing, we can call it condemnable. Everyone knows it's condemnable. The action, the real conversation is, how do we handle these things? Okay, not every country is going to abide by international law, especially not Iran, or really not every country applies it perfectly. Some countries don't abide by it at all. What do countries that do want to abide by it do? Do they have to abide by it fully and put themselves to the detriment? Does a law really apply if it's only super selective? Like, these are all real conversations.
There's
right?
no valid argument, none, to the concept of handing over national sovereignty to an international body that determines the law. We didn't vote.
That's a different argument, though.
We didn't vote on the ICC. We didn't elect any of these people who write international law. The UN, for example, a few years ago came out and
you're
said,
a smart guy. You know you're moving the goalpost quite a bit.
I'm not moving the goalpost. I'm saying international law is worthless
here.
Completely, because national sovereignty will always trump, always. In every instance, there is not a single country that will defer their national sovereignty and what is in their best interests to this concept of international law. If a country thinks it's in their best interest, they'll do it. Law be damned.
There's a very important discipline known as international law. It's how we're all here.
No, it's not. We're not here. No, we are here because of the United States military. We're here because of the United States military. That's why we're here.
Okay, well, I know what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
It has nothing to do with international law. If the ICC and the UN and the Geneva Convention and all this shit disappeared tomorrow, your life, my life, Matt's life, everybody's life in this comment section would not be affected
at all.
Even
really.
0.1%. Our life would continue to go on. The UN a few years ago said that they want to pass an international law banning firearms. Would you be okay with the international community telling the United States we have to ban firearms?
Would I personally? It depends on their reasoning, I suppose.
Okay, but let's say you agree with the reason. You would say that the vote of 330 million Americans and the Second Amendment to the Constitution should defer to an international body of unelected non-Americans.
My personal answer would depend on the merit of the justification.
Really?
Okay, well, and there you go. And this is why we're different, because there is not a single situation.
Like during COVID, people were wearing masks. I was one of them.
Okay, well, you were an idiot, but that's fine. That's your choice. That was an American thing, not an international thing.
Yeah, we weren't internationally required to wear masks, though. Like, I don't know if, let's say, even if I were to steal, we're going to wrap up really soon because we're already at the 2 hour and 11-minute mark. We're going to end the show pretty soon. But nevertheless, I don't think any American would feel comfortable, right, with making, with the American government ever succumbing to the International Criminal Court having a ban on weapons.
Wait, why are we branching so far off about what Americans feel comfortable with? Americans are uncomfortable with the war in Iran.
Well, which just you're changing the topic
Americans?
here again, but this is the thing.
No,
yeah, which Americans? Because over 70% of
this
people
whole
that
thing by
agreed,
saying, I don't
over
care about
70%
leftism
of the
or
people,
DEI,
over
but we'll
70% of the
talk
people
Iran
that voted for Trump are totally for it. So the GOP is for it, actually.
Okay.
But nevertheless, yeah, you would actually confer the powers to potentially erode the Second Amendment to the ICC and instead of like the actual amendment process.
I'm not in a position of power. What I said is
I'm not either,
stance.
and neither is a hammer. But would you ever really confer the ICC powers to erode a U.S. amendment, a constitutional amendment?
Again,
would you ever confer them those powers?
Allow me to answer. My personal opinion, as someone not in a position of power, would be based on the merit of their arguments. Yes, or I mean, it sounds crazy.
Well, that's fair, but
should
that
we
makes you
do whatever?
than,
because should we do
that
whatever?
That makes you different than us.
Okay,
Because
saying
we would never sacrifice national sovereignty to an international body because we're actually Americans and not traitors to our country.
Okay.
Okay. That's a strong argument, and that makes sense.
Well,
Okay, interesting. Okay, anyway, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for both coming on, Hammer and Shaban. I appreciate the conversation from both of you guys and what you guys both had to contribute. Thank you. See you guys whenever you guys request in the next episode. We will be back. By the way, hope everyone enjoyed these conversations, these debates. If you're watching on YouTube, there should be a link so that you are able to join on Discord and not through TikTok necessarily and request to come up on the show. If you are over on X, you can also go over to YouTube and go to the Discord link and come on the show. Or you can obviously request on TikTok guests and you can also come in that way. Jasmine sends a super chat. This guy just doesn't get it. He wants to be seen as smart but doesn't get it and won't let it go. Thank you for the super chat, Jasmine, and I do agree with that conclusion. Anyway, guys, I will see you over tomorrow. Episode, I believe 13 it is, of the nuclear reaction. So I will see you guys then. Thank you for tuning in, and we hope that you guys enjoy the conversations. Thank you, guys.